That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
You know what's faster than your paycheck? Literally everything. It's time to get your pay up to speed. With EarnIn, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the EarnIn app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. EarnIn is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So, I was taking my side hustle full-time.
Bold move, my friend.
And I needed to find everything in one stop.
Like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn.
Yes, so I hit the Staples Easy button. Staples had everything for a new office and print services for signs and brochures. Plus, Cindy, the Staples associate, helped me find the best tech for me.
Wait, no drama?
No, Staples made it easy.
For the products, services, and experts your business needs. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
Lowe's knows how to set off your July 4th with savings. Right now, buy one, get one free on select one-coat coverage interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get 2 select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for just $10. Hurry, these July 4th deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for more details.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Evan Cohen here. According to a recent ZipRecruiter survey, 76% of employers plan to expand headcount for 2025. If you're one of these employers, add ZipRecruiter's latest feature, Zip Intro, to your hiring plan. It does most of the work for you, so you save time. Just pick a time, and Zip Intro finds and schedules qualified candidates for you. You can even meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Book today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, experience the power of choice. Whether you're cruising in a fuel-sipping Prius, tackling trails in a rugged Tacoma, hauling with the mighty Tundra, or commuting in comfort with the Camry or RAV4, your perfect Toyota is waiting. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. 2 locations, endless possibilities. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, the power of choice is yours. Visit their incredible team and beautiful showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
Being the new kid in high school is hard. I didn't know if I would be accepted or if I'd fit in, because being known is key to who we are. Hi, I'm Peyton Seal. When I first came to King's Schools, I knew something was different. My teachers cared about me. I have community. I'm learning who God called me to be.
Sign up for a tour today, and if you enroll, just mention this ad and pay no application fee. Visit joinkings.org for more info. That's joinkings.org. Building resilient disciples of Christ through Christian education for 75 years.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossible impossibly chunky chunkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
The M's finished their road trip 6-4 after taking 2 of 3 from the Rangers. According to MLB stats, this weekend series between the Mariners and Rangers was the first series of at least 3 games to have every game go to extra innings since May of 2015. Yesterday, Luis Castillo went 6 innings, giving up just 1 run and striking out 4. Trent Thornton tossed 2 scoreless innings in extras, and Mitch Garver went 3 for 6 with 4 RBIs, including a game-winning 2-run home run in the 12th.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, crushed, left field. This is destroyed. It's on its way. Second deck. Yes! Mitch Garver ravaging his former team, blasting a 2-run home run in the 12th, and the Mariners double up on the Rangers. It is 6-3. Garver goes yard in a big way.
Love that call from Goldie. It was pretty impressive to see Garver not only do that to his former team, but come back from that foul ball to the jaw, having Harry Ford waiting in the wings to be like, no, I got this.
Yeah, it's crazy of all the storylines this weekend. It's almost been kind of pushed by the wayside at this point that Harry Ford was hanging around on the taxi squad thinking there was a chance to have him make his debut, only for Garver to be okay. And not just be okay, but he essentially put the team on his shoulders and won them that game on Sunday. I mean, he had the single earlier in the game and then that mammoth home run in extra innings to basically seal it.
It was pretty impressive. And also, like I said, Trent Thornton going out there and pitching 2 scoreless innings. He's been really solid lately. He talked about his approach when coming into the game with a runner already aboard.
You try not to think about it and just make your pitch and attack and do what you know you can do. Especially that last inning with the 3-run lead. It's put that guy out of your mind and attack the 1, 2, 3 guys in the lineup, and we were able to get the job done.
That was huge with some exhaustion going on in those extra inning games this weekend for him to come up big like that. Today it is going to be, as they face the Royals, George Kirby on the mound and Michael Wacha for Kansas City.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, how about big dumper to the Derby? Cal Raleigh confirmed for the showcase in Atlanta. That'll be on Monday, July the 12th, and I can't tell you how excited I am for it. I know there's some concern about could it mess with his swing? Could it mess with his fatigue? I think Cal Raleigh knows Cal Raleigh better than anybody. And ultimately, I think this is going to be awesome for him. It's going to be awesome for the Mariners. And it's going to be awesome to have him take center stage for a guy that, look, we keep talking about this race for the MVP and him going up against Aaron Judge. I know being in the home run derby isn't quantifiable, and it's not going to have any numbers to back up behind it for people to vote for him for. But this is just another chance for Cal to put himself in the limelight and put himself in front of the baseball world. And I think it's awesome, one, and I think it's going to get him plenty of... Actually, I think he's going to look awesome doing it, and I think it's going to get him in front of a bunch of people.
I mean, we've had a lot of fun watching Julio compete in these, and so it's pretty cool to have another Mariner in it, especially, like you said, with the season that he's having. He deserves this honor. The fact that he's going to have his dad pitch to him and his brother catch, like, I see why he can't turn this opportunity down. I'm also like a little nervous just because of how important he is to them. I hope everything goes smoothly and he doesn't have any fatigue issues or anything, but I mean, how can you not be excited to watch this?
Yeah. I think it more comes down to knowing your own self, and I think Cal knows that better than anybody. So I think if he really thought this was going to mess with his fatigue long term, he'd probably opt to go against it. But
he's superhuman.
Yeah, and this event was made. This event was made for him. It's not going to mess with his swing, you guys. The whole idea of the home run derby is you have to pull fly balls in the air. What's Cal Raleigh's entire game offensively? He pulls fly balls in the air. This event was literally teed up for somebody like Cal to thrive in it, which is why I think he's going to. And again, if he thrives on a national stage in something like the home run derby, I know it's not quantifiable to help his MVP race, but I think in the minds of voters, it can actually help him. Look at what it did to Julio a couple years ago. Everybody saw his coming out party in LA during that home run derby, and it was kind of the I'm here level moment. Now, everybody knows Cal is leading the league in home runs. Everybody knows he's off to this ridiculous start. He's got a chance to have the best season that any catcher's ever had in the history of baseball. But just putting him that much more on the national stage in front of these fans that will get to actually see him play, for a fan base, or for a lot of fans that sit on the East Coast and don't get to watch his games, it's going to be right in front of their faces, and I think that's going to be awesome.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
All right, the Kraken have now drafted a forward with their first pick in every draft since their first in 2021, and 4 out of 5 of those have been centers. They selected Jake O'Brien, an 18-year-old center from the Brantford Bulldogs in the Ontario Hockey League, with the number 8 pick in the NHL draft on Friday. O'Brien finished 3rd in goals and points and 2nd in assists on the Bulldogs last year. He also notched 9 power play goals and 3 game-winning goals. The Kraken then used their next 4 picks on defensemen, including Blake Fiddler, who they moved up 2 spots to take. He's a 17-year-old who's 6'4", 209 pounds from the Edmonton Oil Kings that's in the Western Hockey League. Fiddler is the son of a 14-year NHL veteran, Vernon Fiddler. He's big and physical, but reportedly has great mobility for his size. Kraken GM Jason Botterill talked about his feelings on this class.
No, it's always exciting to bring this many players into the organization, and to start the day off getting a defenseman like Blake in the mix. Obviously, we've drafted a lot of forwards over the last couple of years, but to get a player of Blake's pedigree, the size, the skating ability, it was a situation where we felt we wanted to move up and grab that, and then I think it just sort of went out through the rest of the day. We've talked a lot about taking the best available. In years past, we haven't forced it, and we've drafted more forwards. This year, we didn't force it, and we drafted more defense. So we're really happy about the players that we added to our organization here. What we're trying to accomplish with Lane is to give him options out there.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get back some of that depth they had in their season where they went on the playoff run. I like what they've done so far, and they're also trying to add some physicality, as Salk mentioned, with the Mason Marchman edition and getting rid of Burakovsky, Salk's hated nemesis, apparently. One other thing I wanted to note this weekend, a statue honoring Sonics legend Lenny Wilkens was unveiled in a ceremony at Climate Pledge Arena Saturday. Wilkens led the Sonics to their only NBA championship as a coach in 1979, and he's the only person inducted in the NBA Hall of Fame 3 times as a coach, a player, and as an assistant coach for the Dream Team. Pretty cool. Looked like a really fun turnout there. And then also there was an announcement over the weekend that Sue Bird's statue at Climate Pledge will be unveiled later this year when the Storm take on the Mercury August 17th. So another pretty awesome event there, and 2 people that definitely deserve to be honored. That is everything you need to know. I just saw Michael Bumpus already in the building here early. He and Brian Walters will be taking over at 7. But up next, we're going to revisit a conversation that Ryan Rowland-Smith and Mike Lefko had filling in on Friday. We're pretty much to the halfway season here for the Mariners, or halfway point of the season for the Mariners. We're gonna hand out some progress reports. That's coming up next. You're listening to the Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
We've got some breaking news.
And the next offer on the wood. Cal swinging a drive deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
You're going to get tossed meatballs and stuff. All you got to do is connect. You have enough power. You got a big dumper. That ball is going to travel.
What would happen if you switched Cal and Judge? Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby Monday, July 14th, right here on Seattle Sports.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Your neighborhood Fred Meyer Pharmacy is happy to welcome back Express Scripts Medicare D and TRICARE Department of Defense plan members. It's easy to transfer prescriptions at fredmeyer.com/pay or update. See your Fred Meyer Pharmacy for details.
The Golf-a-Palooza of the summer, the Butts Golf Sidewalk Sale. Titleist, FootJoy, TaylorMade, Callaway, the biggest names at 50 to 70% off. It's your time to save, and it all starts Thursday at Butts.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Evan Cohen here. According to a recent ZipRecruiter survey, 76% of employers plan to expand headcount for 2025. If you're one of these employers, add ZipRecruiter's latest feature, Zip Intro, to your hiring plan. It does most of the work for you, so you save time. Just pick a time, and Zip Intro finds and schedules qualified candidates for you. You can even meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
Do you know a woman that gives her all to the sports community, encourages diversity, and empowers those around her? Shannon Dreyer here. Seattle Sports is partnering with the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events. We want to recognize a woman in our community, and we need your help in finding her. Nominations for the 4th Annual Women of Inspiration Award are open until July 11th. The winner will receive a donation to the cause of their choice. Nominate an inspiring woman at WOISeattle.org.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Kick off your 4th of July weekend with a Mariners fireworks show at Seattle's summer home, T-Mobile Park. It's a Mariners patriotic party this Thursday, presented by T-Mobile.
Fly ball right field, sailing back, gone! Legend, Cal Raleigh!
Catch Cal and the crew take on the Royals at 7:10. Then stick around as the sky explodes with red, white, and boom. fireworks, and Mariners baseball. That's 2 spectacular shows in one unforgettable night.
J.P. Crawford with a walk-off single. Holy smokes, what a finish.
Lock in your seats now at mariners.com/fireworks and check out the full fireworks lineup this summer, including an 80s night on July 18th and Show Tunes theme on August 1st. Plus, don't miss big-time giveaways like patriotic trucker hats on Friday and J.P. Crawford basketball jerseys on Saturday. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mike Lefko and Ryan Roland-Smith here with you just for a little while longer before we turn you over to Bump and Stacy and then Wyman and Bob and then Mariners and Rangers. Logan Gilbert, Nathan Eovaldi. After they complete this game, Ryan, they will be exactly halfway through the season. So at the midway point, 81 games in, right now 41-39 on the year. I figure, all right, we're essentially, for us, we're at the midway point. 80's close enough to 81, and unless anyone wanted to come on tomorrow morning and really break down at the true midway point, I thought, hey, this would be a good time to kind of look back, do your report cards. I don't know if you were in school, you would hide the report cards when they came, hide them from your parents when all the grades came. But this is the appropriate time, it feels like, to kind of check in and do the grades.
Yeah, for sure. And it drives me nuts when you say that, the halfway point, because when you look at numbers and everything else, it's really not, because you're talking mid-July. But yeah, no,
what do you mean? This is literally the midway point.
That's what I'm saying. No,
this. Oh, you mean baseball?
Exactly. Yeah, when I'm talking about breaking down to
I am mad at baseball. You're right.
No, on the flip side, though, you talk to players and say, yeah, but you kind of refresh. You go off for that All-Star break, even though it's only a couple of days, and you refresh and you come back out and you have a killer finish to the season, but it's shorter. But anyway, no, it's let's dive into it.
Well, we can just litigate that, because I do get very annoyed that they say, everything, all the splits too, right? It's first half, second half, and it refers to the All-Star break, and everyone talks about the first half of the season, second half of the season. They're still playing, I don't even want to count that far. They're playing, close to 15 more games before the actual break. So I'm with you. We're doing it now. We're smarter. We'll work on baseball, fixing their terminology. But as we get to this, Ryan, now a lot of schools, this is the new wave, new age of technology and how they teach kids. Not all schools go an A through F lettering grading scale. I don't know if you're familiar with this. Are you familiar with the A, B, C, D?
Yeah,
I just have to make sure. I don't know what they did in Australia.
No, I think they do it now. They didn't back when I was a kid. We just had numbers out of 100, like a percentile, but we never had letter grading.
Never had letters.
No.
Okay. So was that new when you guys got here and your kids are going through school and you're like, what is this? A?
Well, they're only 10. They're 10 and 6, so yeah, they're not quite there yet.
Not quite.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me started on schools now compared to back in the day, put it that way. But.
All right, so in our normal schooling grading system here, we're going on A through F letter grade on a few things and a few aspects of the Mariner season, and then kind of getting into some more award type and predictions for the second half. So we'll just start with something you've discussed and we've talked about, where it's been good, but it hasn't been dominant like it has in years past. Starting pitching. So the rotation for the Mariners this year, what grade would you give them?
I'm going to give them a B minor.
A B? Oh, that's how you say it. B minor.
How do you guys say it?
Minus.
B minus?
Yeah.
What did I say? B? I'm
minor. Yeah. Minor. I mean, that makes sense.
B minus.
Yeah.
B minus.
No, you can say minor. I get that.
There we go.
Okay.
Because look, they've had to deal with injuries. Bryce Miller has not been the same. George Kirby, we're still trying to get him on the George Kirby level that I think he's so capable of having. Logan Gilbert, we've missed plenty of him. Brian Wu's been great. Diego Castillo has been a little inconsistent as well at times. But you're looking at this, the things that stand out to me, last year they were good, right? They're up there and they're pretty much number one in every category. But the things that stood out to me last year, which made them so good and changed and kept this team competitive even though they didn't go to the playoffs, was their efficiency, right? So they were number one in innings per start. Walk percentage was the best. They were getting deep into games. You can have a mid-range bullpen if that's the case when you do that. This year, they are 19th in the ERA, 13th in innings per start, 9th in walk percentage. So some of these quality factors, these factors that we talked about that made him so high quality and kept that team all the way to 162. They're missing that, and they've just been inconsistent. Bryce Miller, man, I'm hoping he's going to be that second half guy, but he has looked completely different. George Kirby's that split, I've talked about this last couple starts, that split is just non-existent. And it's just been really inconsistent. Thank God for Emerson Hancock to be there for that sixth guy. It just hasn't been the same. And so this is a completely different identity of this team because of that starting rotation.
We'll take some audience participation. This will be a fan segment as
Did
well.
I say minor instead of minus?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's too early.
Yeah, it's a second coffee. That's all right. 866-979-3776. So, yeah, weigh in on this. We're doing starting pitching right now. What grade would you give the starters? Before I give my grade here, I'm curious. So do you expect Bryce Miller to play a role in the rotation this season? Because it seemed kind of ominous, that second shutdown where he came back from the IL, then they had to go right back on there, and now it's down 2 to 4 weeks before he starts throwing. When it's the elbow, it's just that concern about what could pop up.
Yeah, I spoke to him a couple weeks ago, and I'll be honest with you, I said this on Wyman and Bob in the afternoon. I felt like...
I don't listen. You're talking to a brick wall.
Yeah, exactly. I just felt like he rushed back too quick. I know he's keen and he's like, yeah, I'm good. And I was shocked that he came back the way he did. I really was. And I said that before he even threw a pitch, and he came back. Because there's more so mentally to have a breather as opposed to anything physical. I think for him, two things that are going to happen. Number one, give him some space to kind of, figure out physically whatever's going on to get over that hump, 100%. But more so mentally. Look, there's a situation where you are never going to feel right. He's dealing with stuff that he probably dealt with last year, but when everything's right and that third and fourth pitch that you can command or you can execute, you're like, yeah, you know what, my elbow, it's bugging me. But I can pitch through it. There was times where I would pitch, go out, start warming up. Oh my God, my elbow was just dead. You just pitch through it because you're doing well. When you're not doing well, you're like, I need to address this. It's just a different mindset. So get his confidence back. Yes, I think he'll play a role to answer your question in the second half.
Okay. So I'll give them a B. I'll give the starters a B because I'm not going to penalize the guys who got injured, and that certainly...
What do you say if it's a B? Just a minus?
Plus.
B plus.
So you go
I was trying to come up with something different.
They're trying something funny. What would you call it?
No, because I'm ripping myself for calling it
You said minor, so it would be B major, right?
B major. There we go.
B major.
You're going on the musical. You're going on the musical side.
I should have just said it was an Australian thing.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was an Australian thing. I'll give him a B. I'm not going to penalize the injuries, but it has affected the quality of start, like you were talking about, where someone like George Kirby, we saw that one great start after he came back, but maybe it was the injury. Maybe he's still finding his form after not having spring training. And Logan Gilbert still trying to get back into what he was pre-injury and what he can be. So I'll say B because it's been good, but not overwhelmingly dominant, with some extra kudos and some praise for how Emerson Hancock and Logan Evans shouldered the burden when they were absolutely needed. When Bryce Miller was kind of, like you said, he was kind of feeling like he had to keep pitching because Gilbert and Kirby were already out. Evans and Emerson Hancock came up. So it's been very solid, but it hasn't been an overwhelming advantage like it has been in the past. So we'll keep the pitching going. Let's move to that back end. What would you make of the bullpen, the overall scope of this season so far? How would you grade the bullpen?
I'm going to just put him on the same one. B. I'm going to give him, I would slip into a C, but at the same time, you know what? There's still... Like, when you look at the team overall, some of the team numbers, they're still, I call them mid-range, but upper mid. I just think they're lacking depth. Thank God for Matt Brash, really, when you think about the supporting cast with Andres Munoz and what he's done coming off the IL. Gabe Spire has been really good, too. I know there's been a couple there that he struggled with. But when you're in a situation where you come out of spring training into the season, and you've got Carlos Vargas, who at that point, you've got no idea what you're going to get. And he basically was out of options. Give him a short leash to see how he looks and fill the space in the bullpen. Well, now guess what? He's like one of these high leverage arms in the bullpen. What does that tell you? So there is a a depth issue going on with the bullpen. So I would slip into the C, but I'll keep them at B- just because of what they've done, what they've been able to do, stay just above mid-range with some of the lack of depth.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. B- as well, because you had the huge start for Munoz that he carried this team with the 16 scoreless outings to begin this season, and he was locking up saves left and right, and they needed him so frequently. Then Brash came back, and now he's still on that stretch of scoreless outings. His has reached 16. So those two, we're not separating it by person or position because those two would overwhelmingly get a higher grade, and then the rest, it kind of comes back down to average. So I think as a general group, you have to kind of lump them in all together in B-.
Yeah, okay. And the other part, too, is I got to give him some credit. Remember, going back to especially the first couple of months, you got a situation with Casey Lawrence. You have to keep bringing him up. Why? Because the starting pitching was not getting you deep into games. So covering that fourth inning as opposed to covering 3 innings per game makes such a difference, and it wears you out. So I got to give him some credibility there, some credit, for that, because, man, it's tough. It is tough when your starting rotation's not getting deep into games. You got to cover some innings in April and May, for sure.
All right, this should be an interesting one, and you can weigh in as well. 866-979-3776. We are grading the Mariners at the midseason point here, 41 and 39. They will hit that 81-game mark after tonight's game against the Rangers. What do you make of the lineup? Not Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh by himself would be an A+, but the lineup in totality, how do you grade this Mariners lineup?
I'm going to give him a B, and here's why, right? First of all, Cal, I mean, he's off the charts, crazy. We weren't expecting that. But you came into this season, as we all know, that the Mariners were not going to make any adjustments, upgrades in the winter to the lineup. So yes, when you look at some of the numbers, right, they've crept up a little bit in the swing and miss. Okay, so they're creeping up into the top 10 in regards to strikeout rate. They're 12th in runs per game, so they're above average. I call them above average. They're 12 when it comes to runs per game. And, there's some other numbers there. They kind of sit there. They're just above mid-range. The reason I'm giving them I can't give them an A. Otherwise, they'd have to be like a top 5, right? Top 5 offense, which they are not. But you come into this season with there's no adjustment to last year. Right. And you're carrying a bottom 3 offense from last year. And you have a situation that from a 1 through 9, and the stretches where they've been really good, it's been a 1 through 9. It hasn't just. I know. Look, Cal's been crushing it, and he's so valuable and everything else. But you also have to have that 7, 8, 9, right? Where it's all of a sudden it's kind of got a different version of it now, where we had before Rivas and JP at the end of April. Now all of a sudden you've got a Williamson who's starting to just make way better contact. Cole Young has come up and filling up the bottom part. So for what they had and what they were coming off in 2024, I got to get a glass half full here and put them in the B.
So you're going with trending toward optimism for what it looks like towards the second half.
Well, I thought you were talking about we're grading them, right? For the first half.
But you kind of, it seems like you're based on more recent performances. I'm kind of swaying that way as well. It's recency bias a little bit. I'm trying to figure out where I kind of land.
I just need, man, like there's just so much ability in this rotation that you can easily be a top 5 rotation in the second half. If you can have this offense with that top 5 rotation, you're in great shape. So that's why I'm giving them a B, because they've carried this team. Yeah. There's been majority of the first half, the offense has, believe it or not, carried the team. So I have to give him some props there. And again, the rotation when you're projecting for the second half can be a top 5. The offense, I don't know if it can. No, I don't know if it can.
That's why I am trying to figure out between the two extremes of April and then May and now a little chunk of June. Where
May was a struggle.
Yeah, now in June, it looked like they were stabilizing, especially after the first 2 games of the Twins series. This was an offense. I think the Mariners PR staff put this out. It was top 5 in a number of categories in June. But these last 2 games loom large, so there's that recency bias. Yeah. There's just knowing what May held and seeing the wild inconsistency. So because of that inconsistency, I think I'm going to go C+ for this offense, with the caveat, of course, that Cal Raleigh's an A+, JP Crawford's an A, but we're lumping them together as one unit. So, okay, those are our grades on kind of the 3 main position groups here, starting pitching, bullpen, lineup. What about some kind of award categories? And as we go through this midseason report card, they give out superlatives like best dressed, if you're looking through your yearbook, best smile, blah, 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 all that stuff. So, yeah. You were smiling. Like, did you win some of those awards?
Of course.
Yeah. Jeez, I knew it. The way
we don't
he
have yearbooks in
there,
Australia.
yeah.
What are you talking about?
No? Okay.
No, we do. We did have yearbooks. Yeah, we did for sure.
So I want to go along the lines. I didn't want to do a most valuable player. That would have been obvious. But more like an under the radar or unsung hero. Who is your unsung hero for the Mariners so far this season?
Oh, we're getting right into it.
We're getting right into it. I mean, we only got like 8 minutes left in the show.
Oh, okay.
And it takes us, 7 to 8 minutes to answer one question, as we found out in Whose Shoes.
Well,
so.
I'm going to stick with Matt Brash. Now, I know he's a bullpen arm and everything else. I'm going with that just because I'm just looking at this going, a couple reasons, right? Andres Munoz, they've had the ability to keep him at 1 inning. He'd gone inning plus, I think, at one point. But last year, if you remember, at the beginning of the season, they were pressing the panic button. Why? Because 7th and 8th were just such an unknown. Now, all of a sudden, you have a situation where, okay, hey, look, we can lean on Matt Brash, even when he's on the ropes. If you want to have, and this is why it's an unsung hero move, because when you're talking middle of September and you're going Andres Munoz 4 days in a row, emptying the tank, and you need that, and you need him throwing 100, you can go back and say, thank you to a Matt Brash, because the rest of the bullpen has been so inconsistent. Thank you for saving that 8th inning. We didn't have to wear him out to get these wins in May, June. And now all of a sudden we can lean on an Andres Munoz, because we are going to need, like I said, that pitching when you come in the midst of September.
Yeah, he's been a huge stabilizing presence in the bullpen. So that's a good pick there. I'm going to go on the pitching side as well. And because of the rash of injuries to a unit that you thought was kind of unassailable, that, hey, if this group is healthy, what's the sky's the limit? But if they get hurt, what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. So for Emerson Hancock to come in and really be a consistent, stable starter, and he had done it in patches before, but to do it with this frequency, had that tough start. And that's what still kind of looms over everyone, that very first start, 2/3 of an inning, then for him to come back. And the Boston game sticks out to me.
Yes,
that getaway day, that series finale in Boston, they needed a series win. He goes 6 innings, holds them to just 2 runs in Boston, where the Mariners had struggled recently. So Emerson Hancock, for me, has been the guy who's really been impressive, kind of under the radar hero here. Similar lines, who is the X factor to this point? And then we're going to look forward a little bit. Who do you think will be the X factor? And again, not the most valuable player, but for the Mariners, the X factor moving forward.
Okay, the X factor moving forward. I'll keep these quick. On the pitching side, George Kirby. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get him to go into what he's capable of doing, and then Logan Gilbert, and Brian Wu doing what he's doing. You have that. You add a George Kirby where he's the capability there. Again, this team will get to October based off their pitching. You need him to be that George Kirby we saw a couple of years ago, straight up. And you have, like I said, with Logan and then Brian Wood. Not to mention too, when you're pushing towards October and you've got that 1, 2, 3, who's going to be your 1, 2, 3, right? Mm-hmm. In a playoff scenario, you want. I'm telling you, I will bet the house on a Kirby, Logan Gilbert, and call it a Brian Wu. Right?
I don't know.
That's my pitching. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know if it's too obvious or too on the nose for an X factor to say Julio, but I think he has to be the make or break guy for this lineup. Because you kind of mentioned you don't think they're going to significantly improve lineup-wise, and for so much that's been put in Julio, especially as that additional power bat, he's got to find that power.
He's got to find that extra base hit.
He's got to find the extra base hit consistency, which we thought he had. We thought Monday he had unlocked it. He had the double. He had the 2-run homer, and then it not there yet. Those next 3 games. So
Julio has to find
it.
Yeah, Julio has to find that pull side power in the air. Like it's in there, and I get it, man. Like the way you guys pitch him, and I totally understand it. Pitch him inside because you know what, he will inside out me to right field all day, and I'll give up a single. Right, I looking at this through a pitching lens. Until he shows me that he can get the head out and drive the ball in the air with authority, because he hits the ball hard to left field, but it's on the ground 65% of the time. when he can get that head out and make a threat where I can't make a mistake in, right? When he does that, a different story. All of a sudden, he's going to get more 2-0 counts because what's going to happen is guys are going to pitch him outside the strike zone. He's going to get more 2-0 counts, 2-0, 2-1 balls and strikes. And that's where you're going to get mistakes, and he will absolutely murder mistakes. He got that ball to left field in Minnesota. I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Little spin and breaking ball. He has to get that pitch a little bit more often.
And I think we've heard so many analysts come on this show, the midday show, the afternoon show, and say the offense goes as Julio goes. Because of what he's capable of. So if the Mariners are going to make some noise in the playoffs and then maintain this playoff position, it's got to be Julio to supplement Cal Raleigh and what he's doing and what J.P. Crawford's doing at the top of the order, and then some of those key bats toward the bottom in that bottom of the order that turns it back over towards the top. So Julio's presence can affect so many things. So he's my X factor. We'll see how long we get into this, Ryan. We just have a few minutes left. Putting you on the spot here. I did think of a couple ahead of time, so I'm sorry. My topic, I'm cheating a little bit, but do you have a moment of the year?
I should. I mean, I'm in the
I know
booth.
you're there. You're seeing them all. Sometimes it just all runs together. So to this point, moment of the year.
Give me yours.
All right. Do you guys have a moment of the year? I'm going to say mine, and then we'll see if anyone chimes in to help Ryan. So for me, what sticks out more than anything, that decisive game against Houston, Wednesday, April 9th, where the Mariners are in the midst of losing to the Astros. They're going to lose the series. They had come off that sweep at San Francisco. Yeah, it's still early in the year, but they're in danger of falling to 4-9 on the season. And Randy Arozarena hits the grand slam. And then the next inning draws the bases loaded walk-off walk.
That's good.
That is my moment of the year because it was Arozarena, and he is fun when he gets excited and delivers. So do you guys have one that jumps out to you right now? We'll put Ryan on the spot. I'm putting you guys on the spot right now, too. Moment of the year so far. It could be something minuscule. It can be something big, just anything that comes to mind.
I guess if I had to pick one, it would be a couple weeks ago when they got to Emmanuel Clase in the Guardian series. Because, I mean, that's a guy that does not get hit. And the Mariners swept that series. You're going into that ninth inning. They hadn't scored much. You're thinking to yourself, well, this game's over. Here comes Emmanuel Clase, but they got to him.
Key bunt laid down in that moment.
Well, that was awful, but the rest of it was good.
I'll tell you what, that's a good one because you look at that and go, oh, they swept the Guardians, they're back. But it's like, they weren't scoring a whole lot of runs. So they had to get that against Clase. Mine would be Maury. Actually, Maury, you got one? Or are you good?
I'm still thinking. Go ahead.
Okay. If you're talking about a game or a point where you're like, man, this team's for real, I'm going to go at Fenway Park. They've lost the first game. It's so tough to win in that place. Emerson Hancock, you mentioned, comes out and just dominates. I'm like, man, here we go. Look at this. He just turned this whole series around. And then the next day they got Garrett Crochet, and they put him to sleep. It was unreal. Now, I get it. Garrett Crochet's got a nice little rhythm, and he came to T-Mobile. But I looked at that and said, man, this team's for real. This is a team that, and especially doing it on the East Coast as well, this is a team that, it's one that you really have to pay attention to. I think that was a big moment.
I have more. If you're still looking for one, I have another one. If we can.
Now, how many do you get? What?
No, if Morris is still looking for it. This
he's just trying to empty the tank before he flies off the Wimbledon.
Yeah, this is a would-be moment, and I can't in good faith say it's the moment because they lost the game. But had they completed the rally against Arizona on that Monday night when they scored 4 runs in the 9th, and it's Canzone, who had just gotten called up against his old team, hits that big home run. If they had won, that probably would have been one of my moments, if not the moment of the first half. But then they lose 8-4, so that's tough to kind of stick that onto. But it's a good moment. Right. It sticks out. We'll close it out with more, I hear.
J.P. Crawford's walk-off RBI single against the Yankees.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that put him into a 4-game losing streak. Yeah, that was in the 11th.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Not bad. Mine was better, but yeah. I'm just kidding.
All right, that was a little Mariners mid-season progress report from Ryan Rowland-Smith and Mike Lefko, who were in with us Friday. Today, as the Heward family wedding fun continues, we have both of our usual hosts out, but we're going to have a fun show for you with Michael Bumpus and Brian Walters coming up next. You're listening to the Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports on the Seattle Sports app.
If you haven't subscribed to Seattle Sports on YouTube,
it's amazing. We just got to keep hammering it home.
You're missing part of the game.
The rest is history.
There's so much more than what happens on the field.
This is the place I love.
Subscribe now for in-depth inside information with Brock and Salk.
The Mariners' hit rate was way higher than that.
Bump and Stacy.
Cal's like a coach out there.
Wyman and Bob.
One day, breaking that record would be pretty cool.
Stream it live with the local sports leader on YouTube, Seattle Sports.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So, I was taking my side hustle full-time.
Bold move, my friend.
And I needed to find everything in one stop.
Like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn.
Yes, so I hit the Staples Easy button. Staples had everything for a new office and print services for signs and brochures. Plus, Cindy, the Staples associate, helped me find the best tech for me.
Wait, no drama?
No, Staples made it easy.
For the products, services, and experts your business needs. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company with logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linen, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do. Visit suplinen.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you've ever wondered if there's something after death, Tyler Henry proves the answer is yes. Be part of his live audience readings and his jaw-dropping ability to connect with the departed at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, July 10th and Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Experience this evening of hope and healing, bringing peace and closure to loved ones. Tyler Henry proves our loved ones never leave us. Get tickets at MuckleshootCasino.com.
Muckleshoot. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, experience the power of choice. Whether you're cruising in a fuel-sipping Prius, tackling trails in a rugged Tacoma, hauling with the mighty Tundra, or commuting in comfort with the Camry or RAV4, your perfect Toyota is waiting. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. 2 locations, endless possibilities. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, the power of choice is yours. Visit their incredible team and beautiful showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
Tired of sitting on your suitcase? 2 words, packing cubes. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Now open and free through summer.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Evan Cohen here. According to a recent ZipRecruiter survey, 76% of employers plan to expand headcount for 2025. If you're one of these employers, add ZipRecruiter's latest feature, Zip Intro, to your hiring plan. It does most of the work for you, so you save time. Just pick a time, and Zip Intro finds and schedules qualified candidates for you. You can even meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke Heward. And Brooke Heward.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Good morning, no Brock and Salk. You got to deal with us today is Bump and Brian Walters. Also, we got Lyle, obviously. You got more Dooley over there as well. It's early for me, man. I'm usually just getting into like my third set at the gym at this point and then listening to this show in the morning, but now we are here. B, how you doing?
You're a morning gym guy like that?
I am a morning gym
6
guy.
6 a.m. right before your show?
Yeah, we get in at 6, out there by like 7:45, and then I'm on the road getting here.
I've never been that. I can't do that.
No?
I'm still waking up for the first hour if I go to the gym, and then it's like, now it's time to go. I'm not productive at all. Nope, I'm not a morning guy. Morning gym guy, nothing. Really? Yeah. I can't believe they take you off your show and put you on this one.
Well, it's a team effort. So if Brock, his daughter got married this weekend, congratulations to that. And he had some things come up, so they asked me to fill in. So I am here, and I'm with you, and it's been good. So before we get going, man, I want to say, I don't know if you guys know this about Brian Walters. He's probably like one of the best overall athletes that I know. I've seen him hit a wiffle ball. I've seen him shoot a basketball. And then this weekend, I saw you win a pickleball tournament. Doug Baldwin, Michael Bennett, and Cliff Averill. I was there for a little bit, B. I played like 5 games, and I just dipped out of there. So congratulations on your pickleball win.
Yeah, I still don't know how that happened, Bump. There are some asterisks to that. I just got thrown in the finals. I didn't earn myself into the finals. So let's just be very, very clear on that one. I didn't go through some big bracket and just knocking everyone out. I just got, hey, Brian, you want to go play in the finals? It's like, all right, sure, let's do it.
It made sense, though. You were probably one of the better pickleball players out there, though.
I think, I don't know about, I probably have played more than most people there. That's the thing. I feel like a lot of people hadn't played, especially a lot of the celebrities there. Had you played pickleball very much?
That was my second time playing.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like I have a little more pickleball experience, but once you start playing, though, you're going to get it.
Oh, no, I'm on it now. After I left the tournament, I was looking up places to play in the mornings to fit that into my workout before I come here. So, yeah.
Lefko's obsessed. I'm sure he'd play with you.
I know. I need to. I actually texted Lefko like a couple weeks ago asking him like the best places to play pickleball. Try to get ready for this tournament we did.
There's some sneaky spots I never knew about, and it's a little community of that. But know the worst part about this thing is, we're playing doubles. There's not a lot of movement. I was so sore. I'm still sore. I'm tight. My back hurts a little bit. And this was how many days ago? 2 days ago?
Was that Saturday?
Yeah, and there's not much movement, man. Yeah, you don't move a ton, little quick bursts, but
it's the twist.
Getting old, Bump. Getting old.
Getting old. All right, well, enough about pickleball. I'm sure you guys are so delighted to hear about all of our pickleball activities this weekend. But the Mariners, they got a series win the first game 7-6, lost the second game to the Rangers 3-2, and then the third game they won 6-4. Is there anything that's just like that stands out to you when you look back at this series this weekend?
Well, you look at it and you just say, wow, 3 extra inning games in a row. That's incredible. What did we say the last time was? 2015? Lyle, I think you brought that stat up. 2015, 3 extra inning games in a row. And I think with what has happened this season with the Mariners, and they haven't been overly successful in extra inning games, it's nice to get 2 out of 3 of those games, especially from a division rival, the Rangers. The Astros keep going forward, though. That's the unfortunate part about this. Yeah. It's also nice to get that road trip kind of over with. It was a tough road trip. I know we had there's kind of some weather delays in Minnesota, which you don't know what kind of effect that takes. You get out of Minnesota late, get into Texas, and then now you get a little day to breathe, and then you're back home, and you get to do it all over again.
Do it again, man. It is. I think for me, it was important to see Castillo kind of bounce back from his last start. He's been so up and down this year, man. But I've said this before on the Bump and Stacey show that he gets the veteran benefit of the doubt when it comes to me. I'm like, all right, man, I feel like eventually he's going to hit this sweet spot and kind of coast this thing through. But the biggest thing for me was Mitch Garver, man. That is a name that we've talked about a lot. What's he getting, like $12, $13 million a year we're paying this guy?
Yeah, it's 12.
$12 million a year. And it feels like you haven't really gotten a return out of Mitch Garver, but then he has himself a heck of a series. So it was almost like he felt the pressure of Harry Ford. Harry Ford gets called to the taxi squad just in case Mitch isn't able to go. He takes that that foul ball off the jaw, right? We're wondering if he's going to be able to go. Harry gets called to the taxi squad, and Mitch says, no, don't worry about that. I got this thing going. So it was nice to see Mitch Garver have the type of series that he had yesterday. He had 4 RBIs, also had the game-winning home run. It was it's interesting, and that is this team to me. You never know where the runs are going to come from. There's one thing you know for certain is that Cal is going to be in the mix, right? He hasn't hit a bomb in 6 games, but we're getting spoiled with that.
Yeah, and I want to bring something up that I saw on that game too that it's kind of almost gone a little unnoticed, but that was Randy Arozarena when he tagged on that fly ball. Who hit the fly ball? I can't remember. Was it Cal? No, it wasn't Cal. Sorry, it was someone after. But anyway, when he was on first base and he tagged and got to second base, setting up the one run that actually ended up forcing extra innings that Garber hit him in.
Right.
But that, to me, I love plays like that. What a heads-up play. Tag. Growing up, I never got taught to tag when you're on first base. You ever get taught to tag on first base?
No.
You never do.
No.
You're like, go halfway, make sure he catches it, get back to first, that kind of thing. But just to have that kind of sense, and I don't know if his first base coach is yelling, hey, you could advance on this tag, but he did it, and just 90 feet set up the game-tying score, I guess, for Mitch Garver to knock him in. So pretty heads-up play by Randy Arozarena.
Yeah, Randy had his clutch moments, and a weird kind of not series, but month for our guy Solano as well. Like he just pops up in spurts, right? I see Solano, he hits a single there, hits a single here, had a couple bombs a couple series ago, but Solano seems like he's making a case to hold his spot down. Lau, what are your thoughts on Solano and his contributions to this team lately?
We talked about it on this show last week. The last month, he has been, no joke, one of the best hitters in baseball,
right?
Which is a total 180, obviously, from what he did in April. Like, he hasn't had the level of at-bats that Cal's had or that a lot of other guys around the league have had. But if you kind of extrapolate the plate appearances to roughly the number that Solano's had over the last month, yeah, he's been unbelievable. Last month, he's hitting 338, and his OPS is like way over 800. He's been awesome.
He is Donnie Barrels. That's what he is. I mean, we've been asking for Donnie Barrels to show up, and he's been showing up. But that's what this team needs, right? You need Solano to have an appearance. You need Randy to tag up at first base. You need Mitch to show himself as well, and you need this rotation to continue just to give this team a chance, man. This is I'm just glad they're done with this homestand. This road trip. They went 6-4. You win a few series, and you split one. How are you feeling about this squad overall?
Overall, we're still figuring this out, and it's crazy to me that this is the halfway point. This is, what are we, 83 games in now?
Sure, do the math. I don't know.
What is the math? I guess technically 81 games would have been the halfway point, I guess. But I always, going into baseball season, you're like, man, that's a long season. But, man, it goes so fast, and it's so fun every day. And so far through, I'm just going to call it the halfway point. End of a road trip, start a new home series, and I guess would the All-Star break be the halfway point?
Well, they call it the halfway point, but it's not the halfway point, but it is a halfway point.
That's always the point where you kind of sit back and judge, where your team's going to go here for the quote unquote second half of the season. But I think this team survived this first half. That's kind of how I'd say it. I don't think we saw them at their full force. You saw a ton of injuries, and you didn't see those injuries last season like you have this season, especially with the starting rotation. But you've also seen guys kind of rise to the occasion and filling roles that you never really expected to, like Everson Hancock coming up, even Logan Evans having to fill in a couple times for the starting pitchers. So I think you've seen a lot of your depth. You're finally seeing this kind of the farm system that you've talked about, guys coming up. Cole Young's been up. You hope he catches his stride. And it's just it's kind of been fun seeing new players in there filling in that you never thought you'd see for this first half of the season. And now I think they've kind of ingrained almost a permanent role on this team going forward in the second half.
They survived. I like that. They survived the first half of the season, and you survived the first segment of the Brock and Salk Show with me and B. Walt filling in. When we come back, we got Need to Know. We got Shannon Dreyer also joining the show today. You got Big Ray Roberts as well. I'm Michael Bummers. That's B. Walt. This is Brock and Salk.
Bump and Stacy.
Talking baseball with Jason Churchill. Your view of this team's priorities at the deadline?
I think I would look at this from a window standpoint, from a winning window standpoint. I have 2, 3, 4, 5 years with this core to win. So I'm not going out on the market right now and spending the assets. You know, you don't want to throw your entire farm system into the trade deadline, right? So you want to minimize that as much as you can.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with Xfi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sinks overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign. And so I saw the accident coming and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
You know what's faster than your paycheck? Literally everything. It's time to get your pay up to speed. With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfer is available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car card today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, experience the power of choice. Whether you're cruising in a fuel-sipping Prius, tackling trails in a rugged Tacoma, hauling with the mighty Tundra, or commuting in comfort with the Camry or RAV4, your perfect Toyota is waiting. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. 2 locations, endless possibilities. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, the power of choice is yours. Visit their incredible team and beautiful showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Here's what you need to know, Brock and Salk. They're gone. They're out of here. You got Bump and you got Brian Walsh is filling in. So don't be alarmed. This is your regular time slot. Just a different voice. But need to know, the M's finished a road trip 6-4 after taking 2 of 3 from the Rangers. And according to MLB stats, this weekend series between the Mariners and the Rangers was the first series of at least 3 games to have every game go to extra innings since 2015. I'm watching this go down, and I'm thinking this has to be some type of record. Right? We're going to extra innings again. This is a regular day for these guys, B.
Yeah, and it's not what the Mariners wanted with that bullpen worn down. Not what any team wants. The Rangers are feeling the same way going into no day off to a home game against the Royals today. But you feel fortunate to take 2 out of 3 because of all the extra inning games. But then again, you're also the Rangers are feeling the same way, I guess. So you could have swept them as well. So it's fun. It's fun. It's fun watching these division rivals. Fun to watch the Mariners come out on top on a couple extra inning games because they haven't had the best luck earlier in the year.
Yesterday, Luis Castillo went 6 innings, giving up just 1 run and striking out 4. Then Trent Thornton tossed 2 scoreless innings and extras. And Mitch Garver went 3 for 6 with 4 RBIs, including a game-winning home run. Take a listen.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, crushed, left field. This is destroyed. It's on its way. Second deck. Yes! Mitch Garver ravaging his former team, blasting a 2-run home run in the 12th. And the Mariners double up on the Rangers. It is 6-3. Garver goes yard in a big way.
Went yards against his former team. Now, I only play for one team in the NFL. You play for a couple teams. Did you ever play against the Seahawks and make a play against them?
I never played against the Seahawks.
No.
Before I was on the Seahawks, I played against the Seahawks. But it was after I played on the Seahawks, I never played against them.
Really?
So I never played against the former. Actually, I did play against the Chargers with Jacksonville, but it didn't have the same effect. And I think it was a preseason game, to be honest with you. So it's not like this. Not like winning a game against your old team, a team that let you go or whatever happened. So it's got to be a fun moment for Garver.
What about Mitch Garver? What the heck's going on, man? I'm like paying this man $12 million. He does absolutely nothing, and now he has just a great game.
Honestly, his last 15 games, he's starting to heat up a little bit. And I know he hasn't exactly been the player that everybody expected him to be, what the Mariners paid him to be. But if you just want to look at his last 2 weeks, he's OPS at about 740, which I know is not all-star level, but it's above league average, and he's starting to make some real contributions for a team that could really need some extra production up and down that lineup.
Mitch Garver, man, bald head clan. Let's get it, Mitch.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
I didn't mean it like that, man. I'm with you, Mitch. We're both in the ball head group, man. All right. Cal Raleigh announced Friday that he will participate in the Home Run Derby July 14th. In Atlanta, Raleigh's dad will be his pitcher, and his little brother will catch for him. It's a family affair, man. That's a beautiful thing.
How special. What a special moment for Cal Raleigh. I never understood the whole talk, should he play? Should he compete in the home run derby? Should he not? Is it going to ruin his swing? Is he going to be okay? Like, I never understood that. I mean, it's how many swings is he going to take? 50? 50 swings,
way
maybe?
more than that.
Why? Really?
Julio hit what? How many bombs did Julio hit in his
like
record-breaking round?
In 23, he hit 41.
So not even 50 swings.
What? No.
Well,
that was in one round. That was in one round. He's saying some hacks, dog.
All right, but hold up, real quick. How long does it take you to groove something in golf? Let's say you fix it, making a swing change. How long does it take you to groove that?
How long does it take?
A long time. So for something to change in Cal Raleigh's swing isn't going to happen. He's been grooving this thing all spring training, all the first half of the season. A home run derby's not going to mess the swing up. Give the man a chance. Let him experience this. What a special moment. He's got his dad, his brother out there. It's pretty cool. So I never understood that whole don't compete in the home run derby talk. I'm happy for him. It's a moment he will cherish, and you never know when this opportunity will happen again.
See, I was on the side of just rest, Dumper. I mean, he gets hit in his thigh. He gets hit in his toe. Like, just rest. But I'm also on the side of I will support you in whatever you want to do. So now that you are in the home run derby, I'm going to be all in. I'm going to be glued, and I'm going to support him.
There's going to still be lots of rest going on during this. He's not out there.
What? Do what you want to do. Do what you want to do, Dumper. But here's Cal.
Earlier today, Cal Raleigh announcing that the Big Dumper is going to be in the big home run derby. Look at that. He has embraced the best nickname in baseball, by the way. Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh, who's ready to get dumped. He said he's considering swinging from both sides of the plate.
Like it. You don't get worn out as easily, right? Switch it up. Work those obliques from both sides.
Hey, both sides. Could you imagine getting on the golfer? Now, I don't know if you guys know this about B-Wall, but he is an excellent golfer. Could you imagine swinging from both sides playing golf?
So this is something people don't know about me. I can swing lefty. I'm a switch hitter in baseball.
Oh, really?
I do, and I love lefties. How I picture myself hitting, and it's actually weird. I grab a golf club and like sometimes
you can connect lefty.
Yeah, I like hitting.
Really?
Lefty. Yeah. Oh yeah.
The secrets of Brian Walters.
There you go.
Low key, the most athletic guy I know. B-Wall. Juanita High School stand-up. Proud of you, man.
Juanita, baby.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Let's talk the hockey. So I got some hockey buddies right at Moonshine Barbecue, and they hate it when I call it ice hockey, so I'm going to call it ice hockey just to get on their nerves. The Kraken have now drafted a forward with their first pick in every draft since their first in 2021. They selected Jake O'Brien, an 18-year-old center from the Brantford Bulldogs in the Ontario Hockey League, with the number 8 pick in the NHL draft on Friday. Every hockey guy I talk to says they need defensemen. So this is what they do. The Kraken then use their next 4 picks on defensemen, including Blake Fittler. Am I saying that right, Lyle? Fittler?
That sounds right.
All right, Fittler. The Kraken move up 2 spots to take the 17-year-old. He's 6'4", 209 pounds, from the Edmonton Oil Kings of the Western Hockey League. Fittler, the son of 14-year NHL veteran Vernon Fittler, is big and physical with great mobility for his size. Here's Jason, how do I say that? Botterill on the Kraken's draft class.
No, it's always exciting to bring this many players into the organization, and to start the day off getting a defenseman like Blake in the mix. Obviously, we've drafted a lot of forwards over the last couple of years, but to get a player of Blake's pedigree, the size, the skating ability, it was a situation where we felt we wanted to move up and grab that, and then I think it just sort of went out through the rest of the day. We've talked a lot about taking the best available. In years past, we haven't forced it, and we've drafted more forwards. This year, we didn't force it, and we drafted more defense. So we're really happy about the players that we added to our organization here. What we're trying to accomplish with Lane is to give him options out there.
There we go. Give Lane options. Let's do the hockey. Let's get to this next one real quickly. No one? Okay, never mind.
Oh, sometimes Salk does multiple stories.
Oh, he does
we
multiple?
only have the 3 beds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Salk, man. I'm just, I'm just filling in for you, dog. I'm just filling in. But before we get out of here, I have to mention this, though. A statue honoring Lenny Wilkens was unveiled in a ceremony at Climate Pledge Arena on Saturday. Wilkens led the Sonics to their only NBA championship as a coach in 1979. He's the only person inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame 3 times as a coach, as a player, and as an assistant for the Dream Team. The Seattle Times reported over the weekend that Sue Bird's statue at Climate Pledge will be unveiled when the Storm take on the Mercury on August 17th. Sue Bird, Lenny Wilkens in front of Climate Pledge. Doesn't get any better than that, and it doesn't get any better than this. When we come back, we'll talk to Shannon.
Have basketball back here, then it'll be better.
It does, right? People hate on the Bump and Safety Show. They hate when I talk basketball. I'm sorry, guys. I'm from LA. I'm a Laker fan. I got to talk about them. LeBron just signed his deal. They hate when I talk basketball. So hopefully you guys don't hate it as much on the morning show as they do in the midday show. they hate it when I talk basketball. So I'm sorry, okay? But when we come back, we'll talk to Shannon Dreher. She'll let you know everything there is to know about these Mariners. That's next on the Brock and Salk Show. You got B-Wall and you got Bump.
We've got some breaking news.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
If you're going to get tossed meatballs and stuff, all you got to do is connect. You have enough power. You got a big dumper. That ball is going to travel.
What would happen if you switched Cal and Judge? Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby Monday, July 14th, right here on Seattle Sports.
Summer is here, and now's the time to break through those weight loss frustrations. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and we have a proven system that can help you lose weight and get healthy. No drugs, no side effects, no calorie counting, no exercise. Just teaching you the simple steps to become a fat-burning machine and keep it off long term. Remove the stress of trying to do this on your own and picture being down 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days with our help. At Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, we know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle changes. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Yeah, look your best this summer. Even with a busy schedule and vacation, the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan isn't going to cause much disruption. Don't wait or put it off because you're busy. Lose weight during this summer and watch that transformation really happen for you.
Join the thousands of people who've lost 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. You can do our program in person in Kirkland or all remotely. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Home. Home is where you gather. With friends. With family.
Ball to right field. It continues. Jorge Polanco.
Sometimes even folks you don't know. But in a way, you do. Because you share at least one thing in common. And one thing can be pretty powerful when it's multiplied by 40,000.
Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Welcome home.
Cal and the Mariners are back in town this week, and the homestand gets started with 3 straight value games against the Royals, tonight through Wednesday. Score seats for as little as $11 and enjoy a beautiful summer night at the ballpark. Go to mariners.com/value games to lock in your seats and check out the complete Mariners value game schedule for the rest of the season.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
This is the Brock and Salk Show. But you got Bump and B. Walt filling in. Congratulations to to Brock's daughter. She got married this weekend in Montana. And now we are joined by insider Shannon Dreyer. Shannon, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you guys?
We are good. Thanks for joining us this morning and dealing with me and B. Walt. How's the road trip been for you?
This was one of the stranger ones I've been on in a million years. You know, you expected things can happen at Wrigley Field. I grew up not too far from there. I grew up going to that park, so I know things happen. I know the wind can be a factor, and it can be really hot in the Midwest, but that was the most wind I've ever seen in that ballpark. It got to a point where one game it looked like the ivy was alive. It was moving so much. It looked like something out of a horror movie. The heat was extreme there. And I'm sure that took a little bit of a toll on everybody. And then you get to Minnesota, and the Mariners kind of tease you a little bit with 2 good games and then just 2 terrible games. And, why don't you sit and wait 4.5 hours to play one of them while you're at it in a torrential downpour? And then, we were pretty relieved to get indoors in Texas, but I don't think we needed an extra 7 innings of baseball in 3 days. So it was just odd.
Hey, Shannon, I want to go back to the Minnesota series a little bit. I was talking to Bump a little bit about it, and we don't get this in football. They don't delay games. They don't cancel games. There's never that fear of not playing your game. How does that affect a team just kind of sitting around at the ballpark, waiting for them to take the tarp off, not knowing if you're going to play, and then especially not only just being there, but being the away team? How does that affect the clubhouse?
Well, thankfully, we'll start with the last one there. It depends which away clubhouse you are in. If you're in an old park like Fenway that hasn't done an extensive renovation, they've done a little bit on the visiting side, but not a lot. that could be really uncomfortable. There aren't many places to go. There's not a lot of places to move around. If you're in a place that doesn't have good facilities as far as training or batting cages that are available during the game, that can be a problem. Minnesota, that's not it at all. They've got fantastic visiting facilities, so everybody had a lot of space in the facilities that they needed. They've got a great food room down there, so if that's what they wanted to do, they could do, but you want to play the game. If you're a starting pitcher, that's the one where it's really tough. And, different pitchers have different routines, but they all want to stay on it as close as they can, especially on their start day. And you just don't know, and they don't give you much. And everybody's always asking us, when do you think this will start? And my answer is always, I have the same radar that you have. Things can change, and so you don't really know. So it is tough on them. But it was really interesting. It was 2 weeks ago. I do a weekly show with Cal Raleigh, and I asked him, I started out talking to him about Logan Gilbert because he really goes to a different place as a starter mentally. They call him Walter out on the hill because he is the nicest person off the field, and Walter is just nasty on the hill. And you don't just flip the switch. It takes a process to get there, and it can take time. And I asked Cal about that and how that's evolved over the years, and he told me, well, Logan showed up in the organization like that. That dates back to college, and, it changes a little bit here and there, and you can tell when you first talked to Logan after games, it took a while for him to come down. He might still be in Walter mode. Now he can snap out of it pretty quick. And I kind of casually asked, not thinking it was a thing, well, what is the equivalent for a hitter? Because a hitter, you have to keep everything even. You don't want to be too amped up, but there's still a focus process. And he said it takes a few hours for him to get to that spot as well. And there are different things that he does throughout the day to get there, and there are different things in particular, the 2 hours before a game that he does. And he sees the whole clubhouse kind of really quiet down that last hour. So when you have a 4-hour delay, you lose that time. You're on that edge. You're not going to get that 2-hour span to go and start everything else again. So there's more of an impact than I thought on the hitting side as well.
Shannon, I want to talk about Cal Raleigh. Now, I went to dad mode when I saw that he was going to be in the home run derby. I see my kids sometimes. They do all these activities and they want to do more. And I talk to my son. I go, Michael, man, you should probably just take a day off, man. Just chill. Like your body, I can see you're tired. I see it in your eyes. That was my approach with Cal. I go, Cal, just sit this one out. You don't have to do the home run derby. But as soon as he signed up to do it, I'm like, okay, let's go get it. Let's go win this thing. Any concerns with you when it comes to Cal in the home run derby, and how do you think he's going to do?
So when I heard there was a possibility a couple of months ago, my immediate reaction was, oh, there's no way he's going to do it because he's going to be all about the team and he's going to be all about getting that rest. And then as it got closer and I heard that he told Mina Kimes, yeah, why wouldn't I do it if they offered it? I was like, okay, let's rethink this one here because it was automatic for him. And his goal, his number, there is one number that he looks at. And that number is 1, and that is World Series. That's it. He doesn't want to talk about home runs, averages. He doesn't want to talk about, other, that's it. It's the World Series. And so when it comes to the All-Star break, yeah, there's a lot of travel, and this one is cross-country, and there's a lot of dealing with family, and there's going to be even more for him as he is going to be so close to family out there with the game in Atlanta. But with Cal Raleigh, he is the ultimate preparer. And I think he is going to be able to handle this because he will treat this as he would treat a Logan Gilbert start and how he would get ready for that. And he would treat that, with the importance of any other start for the Mariners. And I'm not for the Derby, but for I've got to do this so I stay in good shape for what I want to do with the club. So my guess is that these are things that he has very much figured out already, how he is going to handle it. And then, for some, and what they typically do, and they did this with Logan last year, and I think they did it with Julio the year before, and people kind of forget, and they're like, oh, it's just one game if you're playing in the game, and Logan Gilbert just pitched 1 inning in the All-Star game. Well, why can't he go out there and start the first game against Houston out of the break last year? A lot of people were upset about that. And it goes back to, well, it was because of the travel. It was because of all of the extra. It was 1 inning, but you had to, the walk and the parade and the heat that you had to do at the start. And most importantly for a pitcher, your routine was totally upended with those 4 days. I think Cal's going to be able to keep his routine pretty much. And I think that he will have a plan that is going to help him. And when he gets back, when I started with this was the Mariners, I would suspect, would give him the first game off. So I could be totally wrong on that, but that's what they've kind of done in the past and say, hey, get your rest right now, get ready for the entire second half and go. And as far as, will it have impact? Because my question was that there are people that think, it could screw up your swing if you went and just started, hitting homers as fast as you can. I think he'll probably have a good process in that he does that. They all take batting practice every day. I think he'll kind of probably put a little bit of a mentality of that into it. I think he's got an excellent chance the way we have seen him hit home runs. And I think it'll be interesting if he tries to incorporate both sides and doesn't just go one side. I do think that when the game was in Seattle, one of the more thrilling things to see was when Adley Rutschman turned around and hit from the left side and hit one into the Hit It Here Cafe. So I think he's going to take care of himself physically, mentally, and have himself ready for the second half. And in the case of some, when Julio Rodriguez did it, it kind of sat him and got him going in the second half. He said that it actually helped him moving forward. I don't know if this is going to help Cal, if he's going to hit more home runs, but I think he can control it to the point where it doesn't hurt him at all.
Well, I'm definitely excited to watch him tee it up in the home run derby. And one other thing I'm excited about is that they can't intentionally walk him in the home run derby. I don't think we're going to see a lot of those. We saw that 4 times this past weekend with the Rangers. What do you think of that, Shannon, and how teams are now approaching Cal and kind of saying they're not going to let Cal beat us. We're going to let the rest of the lineup of the Mariners beat us.
I think they're being pretty smart, unfortunately. And you did hear the boos in Texas, and I'm not convinced they were all Mariners fans that were down there. I think that fans want to see their pitchers, pitching to the best as well. They don't want to see what the result is, but they want to go after them. And, Cal's turning into a little bit of a villain in some stadiums, which is kind of funny to hear too. But I think we're going to see more of it, anytime you have anybody who's got the power and is, the clear threat in the lineup. When games are on the line, you are going to see managers put the 4 fingers up. And Cal's, he's prepared for that. And he has to be able to deal with that. The more protection he has around him, that's going to help him more. And I think that's kind of one of the reasons why it's critical we start seeing more power from Julio. And you hope you see a typical second half Julio coming up. But I don't, it's part of the game. It's allowed. And so, tip of the cap to the managers if they do it. I think it was shocking to see it in the 3rd inning, to load the bases with nobody out, and then to see it again in that game in Texas. But you sit back and you think about all the times you thought, got angry. Why didn't they walk Mike Trout? Why didn't they walk Yordan Alvarez? Why didn't they walk Aaron Judge right there? It's two-way street, so, fans are going to have to live with it for now.
Shannon, this team needs some performances from names that you don't expect, right? Solano's had himself a great month. Lyle just gave us all the stats on him this month. But I look at the young guys. I look at young Cole and Williamson down at the bottom of the order. How's their development coming along, and do you feel like these guys can be kind of centerpieces to a push to the playoffs for the squad?
Yeah, I am really. And how about, Donovan Solano, I'm sure Lyle brought this up, led the club in WRC plus in the month of June. And that wasn't because everybody else was so bad. He was a couple points higher than Cal, and obviously completely different kind of offense, but a lot of fun to see that. Having a Ben Williamson and having a Cole Young in the lineup is a commitment to these players. And it's not just a commitment for the organization and putting them in there. It's a commitment for their teammates, too, to help bring them up and to help get them to a spot where they're really contributing and doing big things for this club down the stretch. And it just doesn't happen overnight. I talked to J.P. Crawford on Saturday in Texas. I never know what day it is. I think it was Saturday. And I asked about that responsibility, and I talked to him a little bit about Ben Williamson, and he laughed about it because Ben is quiet. And he said he doesn't say 3 words. Said it's gotten to the point where I'm always trying to get him to talk, and it's gotten to the point where when we're on the road, I invite him to my room to play Nintendo PlayStation, to try and get him out of his shell a little bit. And if that doesn't tell you anything about J.P. Crawford, then you're just kind of missing the whole entire point of team and teammates and leadership. But it's just great. But those guys, you see them in the clubhouse now, and you see them go about their day, and they look like they belong, or they feel that they belong, which is huge. So they're on board with that. But also, you look at, I don't have the numbers right in front of me. Both of them are hitting for average over the last 3 weeks, which is huge, which means that they are making adjustments. I think going into the game yesterday, Williamson, I think they were both around 290 for the previous 3 weeks. They're not big hits. We're still waiting for Cole Young's first home run. Ben Williamson is not going to be a home run hitter, but we see them getting their singles, getting the double, hitting the ball hard here and there. And Cole Young, in particular, on this road trip, had some hits of impact, hits that really, late that helped them win games. One is a pinch hitting appearance, which, as one of his teammates pointed out to me, he's probably never done that before. You don't do that in the minor leagues. So I think so far so good with them. Williamson, I know that the numbers were not liking his defense early, which made no sense, as he was, known as a potential Gold Glover in the minors. The defense the numbers are now liking his defense. It's translating, and you're seeing it with the eyes as well. Young has looked very steady and good over at second base as well. So I think they're making good progress, and I think that if they can kind of maintain and perhaps even build off a little bit of what we've seen on this road trip and about a week before that, I think they're going to be in good shape, which to bring two young players up and to have them both, succeed and start to take off is a big deal for a club. They're not the ones like you're going to come up and impact a playoff race at the top of the order, but we know that this lineup is built to have all sections of the lineup working together. And when you don't have the bottom of the lineup working, I think that's what we saw for a good part of May and the beginning of June. And that's where they were vulnerable and really gave the pitchers a break on the other side. I think Williamson and Cole Young are showing a strong possibility that that's not going to be the case.
She is Mariners insider Shannon Dreher. Shannon, we appreciate your time and welcome home.
Thank you. Can I throw one thing out there?
Yes.
On the Cal Raleigh show this week, he said he wants questions. He wants questions from the fans. They can be serious, they can be goofy, they can be whatever. He is up for it. So if you have a question for Cal Raleigh, I'd say probably in the next day and a half, shoot me a text, ask Cal at Shannon Dreher, and we'll see. Maybe we'll get that question answered.
There you go, fans. Get your questions in for the Cal Raleigh show, and maybe Shannon will throw it his way. Thanks, Shannon. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. All
right, let's get to Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Heward breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
This is Blue 88. No Salk, no Brock. Bumpin' Brian. That sounds good together.
Bumpin' Brian.
Bumpin' Brian. Actually, I don't think I ever call you Brian.
No one calls me Brian.
No, everyone calls
I respond
you
to Brian. So.
Right now, no one calls me Michael. I think my mom calls me Michael every now and then. That's about it, though. But, all right, let's get to Blue 88, man. My first one for you, man. There have been a trade proposal, right, an idea that maybe the Seahawks trade Noah Fant to the Pittsburgh Steelers because they need another pass catcher over there. And you look at this tight end room with Arroyo. You have A.J. Barner as well. How do you feel about that trade? Do you think that if Noah Fant were to go to the Steelers, the Hawks have enough here to be okay at the tight end spot?
As far as talent-wise, I would say yes, they have enough. I liked what we saw to A.J. Barner last season. He made some big clutch plays. He showed a lot of athleticism, and he showed the willingness to be in it and kind of get dirty. He was able to make some blocks and all that, and I like it. The only issue with this is the depth that you get now. Now you're going in with a rookie tight end, Elijah Arroyo, who is unproven. I really like what we see out of Elijah Arroyo so far with no pads on and just a helmet. He's smooth. He's fast. He looks like he's going to be the real deal on the receiving end. On the for the passing game. Now, can he do what A.J. Barner showed he could do and really be in the trenches and be an impact in the running game as well? That's unknown. We know Noah Fant can do that. I don't know if it's his favorite thing to do, but he can do that. And then you just don't have much depth at that. So it kind of depends what they get in return. Do they have someone to fill that spot? And what do they see in Elijah Arroyo? Can he come in and be that kind of that blocking tight end at some point too, along with being the receiving tight end?
That's the thing, I think, with this whole situation. When you look at the tight ends as they stand right now, Noah Fant, Elijah Arroyo, A.J. Barner, and then Eric Saubert, I think his name is. Sorry if I'm jacking your name up, Eric. No disrespect. But there's no one that you look at and say, that's the guy in the trenches. That's the guy who's going to set the edge and allow this wide zone scheme to kind of work for you. But, as we've heard from Mike McDonald and the rest of his staff, it's all about teaching and getting these guys going. I'd be up for it. I think Elijah has an opportunity to be a really dynamic type of tight end. I think A.J. Barner can be dynamic as well. I would entertain it. I'm not saying this is something that should go down, but I would definitely entertain it. All right, as we look at this team, B. Walton, we look at the positions and the depth. Is there any group that you look at and say you might need to grab a couple more guys at that position because they're a little thin?
Yeah, if you were to ask me this last week, my answer would have been completely different. Last week, I would have said cornerback. I think they addressed it a little bit, bringing in Shaq Griffin and to add to that. So now you kind of have 4 solid corners that you can trust going into the season. But now you go, okay, where else? Let me look. Let me look at this depth chart here. And I'm going to stay on the defense side of the ball here. Okay. I'm going to go to the linebackers, middle linebackers. Now, you have Ernest Jones, who you know what you're getting with Ernest Jones. He's going to be the leader of the defense. He's wearing that green dot, calling the plays. He showed the impact he made when they brought him in midseason last year and how this defense changed and how they kind of started rolling with him at the helm. Tyrese Knight was a surprise, the rookie. He came in. We knew he was a tackling machine out of college, and that's what they liked about him. And he did his thing last year. I know the Seahawks were surprised that he got so much playing time. We weren't expecting him to be thrown in the mix that much, especially how the season started with the 2 linebackers that they shipped off. But then from that, you don't have any experience. You have no experience at all. Drake Thomas, a little bit on special teams. He got some reps last year, and Patrick O'Connell too. So you just you'd like him to address that. If one of those guys, Ernest Jones and Tyrese Knight, one of them gets hurt, I think you're in for a world of hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's after Knight and Ernest. Am I saying it right? Ernest, right? Yeah. I think the group has like 40-something snaps total. Like, they've been on special teams. That guys been running around doing their thing, but there's not a lot of depth at that position. I think that's concerning as well. You know how this game goes. So you're going to get banged up. You're going to be nicked up. Something's going to happen to you. Maybe take a game off. Maybe take a few plays off. What does your backup look like? Is he capable to come in and just keep things flowing? That's tough. Well, no, you don't expect them to perform like the number ones or number twos for a reason. But when you look at that group behind them and you see 30-something to 40-something snaps total, you got to be concerned a bit.
Yeah, and I think you look at this defense and you look at all the starters and you go, these guys are elite. They are an elite defense. But sometimes injuries will happen. You do, and a lot of times you want proven guys behind them. And you look at kind of the backups to all these guys, and there's no one really proven behind all these elite starters. So that would be the one worry I have about the Seahawks defense.
Yes, sir. Interesting one here. DK Metcalf says he sees similarities between Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. Can you see that being true? You play with Russ.
I didn't play with Aaron.
You play with Aaron.
Didn't play with Aaron.
Where'd you play with Russ?
I play with Russ. And Aaron, I got to read that. Is he talking physical characteristics?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Leadership?
What do you see?
We have the quote there.
You got it?
Yeah, I will say they're similar with how they approach the game. They're very professional, going to hold people accountable in the offense and in the team setting. They're going to work their butts off when they're out here, and they're going to make you come up with their level of competitiveness out there on the grass.
Okay.
I could see that. They're both very competitive.
Yeah.
Both quarterbacks.
They're both quarterbacks.
I think they're. I can't compare their style. That's the thing. If he's talking about their actual, they're completely different quarterbacks. Russ is going to be, well, at least prime Russ was that extend the play kind of, everything is off schedule. Everything's off schedule. Receivers are doing scramble drill. He's running around finding guys. Aaron Rodgers is very on schedule.
Yeah.
Flick of the wrist, that ball's out quick. He knows where he's going. You read the way he breaks down defenses. Now, their leadership, maybe. I mean, they're both veteran guys that have won Super Bowls, a Super Bowl. and been considered one of the best at their position. So I think when you have a quarterback that comes in like that, both these, Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, guys are going to look up to you regardless, no matter what, and they're going to see what you're doing every single move. So you have to handle that with the level of professionalism that would be expected from you to have that level.
Yeah, I think that when you've been in the league 10 plus years, that you have a system, right? You show up, you do the same things every single day, and you hold guys accountable. Now, I didn't play with Russell, and I think you caught him earlier in his career. I wonder what that's like for Russell Wilson, because he seems like not a guy that's confrontational, but I look at Aaron Rodgers and I feel like he's more of a confrontational guy. If you're not doing your job, he's going to let you know. Where I feel like Russell kind of does it in a nurturing type of way. He's not just going to call you out like that.
Yeah, Russ sometimes has and this again, this was early in his career when we played with him. During games he doesn't talk that much. Mm-hmm. He's kind of in his own little zone. Maybe a couple claps, hey, let's go, guys. But other than that, he's focused on what he has to do. And so that was something he just kind of, he wasn't going to be rah-rah. I think later in his career he became that rah-rah, like gather around me here, let's go, guys. Yeah. But early on he was not like that when I played with him. I think he allowed other guys to take that role. I'm guessing he's probably changed a little bit. I'm guessing he is that guy now, getting guys together before practice. Need a good practice is what we need to see. He's being that leader out there.
Crazy. You text lines, you guys aren't nice. They're both goofballs. They're both weirdos. Leave them alone. They're both veteran quarterbacks in the NFL who have won a Super Bowl, but I ain't mad at y'all. Keep the text coming in, 866-979-3776. When we come back, can this Seahawk defense be the best in the league? We'll break that down next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
The one, the only Tim Kirkchin is with us. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm just as confused as you are about the Mariners, if they're going to get really good or not.
Is it hard to understand where their needs truly are as we approach that trade deadline?
This team is due for a great stretch of great starting pitching. If they can score a few runs, maybe they can really make a playoff berth in the American League.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
If you've ever wondered if there's something after death, Tyler Henry proves the answer is yes. Be part of his live audience readings and his jaw-dropping ability to connect with the departed at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, July 10th and Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Experience this evening of hope and healing, bringing peace and closure to loved ones. Tyler Henry proves our loved ones never leave us. Get tickets at muckleshootcasino.com.
Muckleshoot. It's our biggest event of the summer, the Putts Golf Sidewalk Sale. Thousands of items on sale on the best brands in the game and an unthinkable savings. Don't be left out. It all starts Thursday for 4 days only at Putts.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can also be a financial hardship. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. This year, we are proud to celebrate 25 years of Northwest Hope and Healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $2.8 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can help us make a difference. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 17th at the Columbia Collective in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of unwavering hope and inspiration. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 17th. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Hold up a sec. If I work today, why should I have to wait 2 weeks to get my money? With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh. Did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Ready for some summer hoops? Register your team for the July 12th and 13th Everett 3-on-3 tournament presented by Boeing. 4 players to a team, 2 days of exciting action, 1 incredible tournament. Players of all ages and abilities are encouraged to come out and play. You've got to register your team at everett3on3.net by July 1st. Each player gets an Amazon player bag. A special thank you to event sponsors City of Everett, Scott Dahl Real Estate, Coastal Community Bank, and Everett Downtown Storage.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Good morning. No Brock and Salk. You got Bump and Brian Walters today. Thanks for hanging out with us. 1 hour down, 2 more to go for us. Before we get into our conversation, the one that I teased, man, there's some news going down. You got Jalen Ramsey going to the Pittsburgh Steelers for Minkah Fitzpatrick. It's a rare player-to-player trade. What are your initial thoughts on that situation, B?
Initial thoughts, my first is I'm so happy he's not going to the NFC, going to NFC West. He's not going back to the Rams.
Yeah.
I am happy about that, just for the Seahawks' sake. And I'm also, and then you say, okay, DK and Jalen Ramsey. Every day in practice together. Every day, one-on-ones, everything. There's gonna be some heated battles. So I'm gonna watch that one close.
I feel like they gotta link up, go out to dinner, and just talk this thing through before they get on the field. But you know how sports go, though, man. Like, you can compete with someone on the field and not like that person, and then as soon as the jerseys are off, you see them on the street, it's absolutely nothing. So I'm hoping that's the deal. What's funny is you have Aaron Rodgers, you have DK Metcalf, you have Jalen Ramsey. Like, those 3 personalities, I think they all need to go out to dinner and make sure they're all on the same page.
If Mike Tomlin can keep his winning season streak alive, make the playoffs, make a run, he's coach of the year. There's no question having to deal with all these different characters on this team, on the Steelers. The Steelers are, I feel like they're always a team that you never really talked about the individual player. Am I wrong about this? They never had those guys that really stood out or super. Now they have 3 of them here that could either potentially be a hindrance to your team or hey, maybe it'll work out, maybe it'll gel. And like you said, when you're competing on the field and tempers fly and all this, it's different out there than when you're spending time in the locker room. You're every day in practice, you're going through the day to day. So maybe, I could see Jalen and DK might become best friends. You never know.
Maybe, because they have similar personalities. They're similar some ways, and it just takes maybe putting on the same jersey to make you realize, you know what, we are the same.
I will say, Jalen Ramsey. Off the field, I played with him in Jacksonville. He was a teammate, so I played a couple, I think 2 seasons with him, maybe 1. Can't remember. But he's a different player off the field than he is on the field.
Really?
On the field, he's competitive. Yeah, he gets that chip on his shoulder. He does it off the field. He's great, good locker room guy. I enjoyed him. He always just teasing teammate in a good way. He was people respected him in the locker room, and I respected him too. So going off your point. Sometimes what you see on the field isn't exactly the player you get in the locker room.
Yeah, all right. So maybe it's kumbaya. I don't expect them to win that division, though, and it's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs. But you do have some names over there, so like you heard.
By the way, this trade is still developing. Tom Pelissero says there's also draft picks involved, and Jonnu Smith is going to the Steelers. Tight end Jonnu Smith is going there as well in this deal.
Steelers are trying to do something over there, man. The thing is, what's crazy about that situation is Aaron Rodgers says this is it. You got 1 year. And if I were the Steelers, I would ask him for at least 2 years. Like, all right, let's get 1 to get things going. 2, and we can draft another QB if we want to. You do have Will Howard over there from Ohio State. But him coming out and saying 1 and done is interesting to me, and it puts them in a weird space.
Really, Bump? If you're the Steelers, you're asking Aaron Rodgers for 2 years?
Yeah.
Really?
1 and
Come
done?
on. Yeah.
I need 2 because it's going to help me develop a quarterback. This 1 year, unless they believe Will Howard is the guy, unless Will Howard went to OTAs and minicamp and just impressed them and they feel good about this, I would need at least 2 years from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
You're good with 1 and done.
I'm good with 1 and done with Aaron Rodgers. I am. I like it. Maybe. No, get on to your young guy. But I love the 1 year under Aaron Rodgers. I do. I love that. Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Just to pick his football brain. I don't want my young guy getting any habits of anything outside of football from Aaron Rodgers, but pick his football brain, pick his play development, pick what is he seeing on these, because he is one of the best at that, at recognizing defenses and just calling his audible. You know what Aaron Rodgers does.
Yeah.
He's that guy, football wise. So I think give him a year. Give him a year for Will Howard to really see how Aaron Rodgers sees the game, and then get him out of there.
All right. I like this text from 360. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Bump, is the reason you're filling in the morning show so you can get your golf on after the show. You and B playing together. We should have set up a tee time. I don't know what the heck we were thinking.
We talked about it. First thing I think I said to Bump is, Bump, you getting to tea time?
Right? What's going on here? What are we doing? All right, real quickly before we get out of here, look, Derek Klassen from The Athletics, he was on the Bump and Stacey show, the show that follows the show that I'm typically on, came on our show and said that this defense could be the best in the league.
It's Mike McDonald's defense. I think he's one of the most brilliant play callers in the league right now from a defensive perspective. And so I just continue to, with some of the added talent at pass rush this year, some of the added talent that they brought in the secondary, I think it's going to be a pretty interesting, I think there's a chance that they can be the best defense in the league. And so I'm definitely interested in that.
Could they be the best defense in the league?
I think I alluded to it earlier in the show that this starters from top to bottom, this is an elite defense. Mm-hmm. There's no gaps in this. I mean, you got, one, Byron Murphy expecting a big year out of him this year. But you know what Leonard Williams could do. DeMarcus Lawrence has done it. Ernest Jones, how he turned the defense around. Julian Love, just the kind of the leader in the back end. And Devin Witherspoon can be everywhere. You drafted him in Wari that could fit. You have pieces all over the place. And I miss it. Kobe Bryant has filled that role. The question is, can you stay healthy? And I know that's a big question for everyone in the league. Everyone's going to say that, that's, injuries are part of it. But there's a difference when you have guys that are unproven and proven backing up your elite guys. And I think the Seahawks have a lot of unproven guys backing up these guys. Right. So it's just going to be about staying healthy. But, man, top to bottom, this defense is talented. And you saw what they could do kind of the last 5 games of the season last year, how they were one of the best defenses in the league. And then just to build on that and to continue with that confidence, another year under Coach McDonald's defense and just kind of learning all aspects, because we know that this defense is complex. There's a lot to it. It's probably tough to learn all the little nuances and everything that there is to know about it in 1 year.
The thing that I think gets me the most optimistic is, one, the talent that they've acquired, but like you mentioned, the Mike McDonald effect. We saw what he did with talent in Baltimore, obviously in Michigan as well, and you getting a guy like Imaware, and even a low-key move like Griffin. It's all right, well, you got a solid corner over there. Reek, I feel like, can bounce back. You got Spoon. The box, I feel like, is going to be good with Ernest and Tyrese Knight and Leo. There's just a lot of talent over here. The way they finished the season last year is what kind of gets me to buy in and say, this could be something special. Best in the league, I think that would be awesome. If this defense is the best defense in the league, where does this team go?
Well, if any time you have the best defense in the league, you're going to be a division winner, and you're going to be one of those fighting for that first round bye. I just think that's without question. That's what defense does in this game. In such an offensive oriented league, when you have a good defense to counter that, that's the way to go. So the offense, and I'm sure, Bump, we're going to get into this because we're not going to just talk defense this whole time because you and I are both wideouts and we can't resist talking offense. But this offense doesn't need to be great. Doesn't need to be fantastic. It just needs to, and I'm going to base it off last season, it just needs to take care of the ball in the red zone. It needs to not take points off the board when this defense gives you good field position by forcing a turnover or something along those lines. You just got to take the points when you can. You can't take the sacks when you're in the fringe. You can't throw interceptions in the red zone. That's all this offense has to do. And it has to control the clock a little bit. It's got to keep the defense off the field sometimes so they're not on there all the time tired. So I don't think there's a lot of pressure on this offense, and I think this defense can carry them. And I see them fighting for that 1 or 2 seed in the playoffs if it's a top defense in the league.
All right, let's hopefully they get that thing together, and this is one of the top defenses in the league. When we come back, we'll get back to Need to Know. Kyle Raleigh in the Home Run Derby. Mitch Garver is balling, and then we'll talk to Ray Roberts as well. That's coming up next. You're listening to the Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
We've got some breaking news.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
If you're going to get tossed meatballs and stuff, all you got to do is connect. You have enough power. You got a big dumper. That ball is going to travel.
What would happen if you switched Cal and Judge? Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby Monday, July 14th, right here on Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Book today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
And now, tales of another way. You're packing for a trip. Stuffing clothes in a suitcase works mostly. But such chaos in your carry-on. Then you try packing cubes. Organization? Meet harmony. Sometimes another way is the better way. Like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads, plus provide better access to the ports. It's open now. Try it free through summer. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
Business leaders know to solve a problem, you gotta look at it in a new way. Like travel between Seattle and Portland. Why is it such a pain? I-5 traffic, TSA slowdowns, SeaTac hassles. Seaport removes those pain points. We fly out of Boeing Field and a private terminal at PDX. You park for free, steps away from your plane. And with flights every 45 minutes, you're always home for dinner. Problem solved. Seaport Airlines. It's about time.
At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, experience the power of choice. Whether you're cruising in a fuel-sipping Prius, tackling trails in a rugged Tacoma, hauling with the mighty Tundra, or commuting in comfort with the Camry or RAV4, your perfect Toyota is waiting. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. 2 locations, endless possibilities. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, the power of choice is yours. Visit their incredible team and beautiful showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien. Hey, Brock Ewart here, and I have had a couple sports injuries through the years. I know a little bit about pain. I know when I look at Mr. Wyman and Mr. Bumpus and getting a chance to play pro football and live out our dreams, incredible. But the other side of it, yeah, there's some injuries, some orthopedic stuff that comes with those years of playing ball. But you don't have to be a pro athlete to know what I'm talking about. Many of you woke up this morning like, oh, man, my back, my knee, you've got painful joints from arthritis. And it makes it hard to have a quality of life. Well, that is where my friend Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine over there in Kirkland, that is where he's ready to answer the call. 425-823-4000, 425-823-4000. Dr. Nelson has seen so many patients suffering from chronic joint pain through the years, so don't let pain stop you from enjoying your life. Consider Dr. Nelson the only doctor, and I can say this confidently, with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques. Many have jumped aboard the regenerative medicine game lately. Not Dr. Nelson. This has been his heart. This has been his passion for well over 30 years. So if you're in pain, yeah, do yourself a favor. Make the call this morning, 425-823-4000, or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Here's what you need to know. The M's finished their road trip 6-4 after taking 2 of 3 from the Rangers. And according to MLB stats, this weekend series between the Mariners and the Rangers was the first series of at least 3 games to have every game go into extra innings since May 2015. But the man of the hour, the guy that I've been talking about and we all been talking about, I feel like, throughout this year, was Mitch Garver. As promised, 206, here it is.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, crushed, left field. This is destroyed. It's on its way. Second deck. Yes! Mitch Garver ravaging his former team, blasting a 2-run home run in the 12th, and the Mariners double up on the Rangers. It is 6-3. Garver goes yard in a big way.
$12 million. That's what you paid for, and he's been coming up clutch. Lyle, bless us with how well Mitch has been playing as of late.
He's really swung the bat, and again, they've needed it. So shout out Mitch Garver. He essentially won the team the game on his own yesterday. I mean, he has the single in the 6th, comes through with the homer in the 12th. That was his game.
Mitch Garver, man. Against his old squad, too. That had to feel nice.
The old squad, that would be a highlight in anyone's career, going against a team that, for whatever reason didn't work out, sign somewhere else and go and win a game against them. But then that whole road trip, the game against the Cubs, he had 2 home runs, pretty much won him the game against the Cubs too. So when he's been asked to, fill that role, be that backup catcher, whatever it may be, over that road trip, Garver's really shown signs of life and that would be huge for this team pushing forward.
This squad going 3 consecutive games, going into extra innings, puts a lot of pressure on your relievers. Trent Thornton talks about that approach.
You try not to think about it and just make your pitch and attack and do what you know you can do. Especially that last inning with the 3-run lead, it's put that guy out of your mind and attack the 1, 2, 3 guys in the lineup, and we were able to get the job done.
That mentality, when I was a kid, right, when we used to play baseball, we didn't have, obviously, enough to play, 9v9. And we would have ghost runners. We say, all right, I'm up to bat. Ghost runner on second, ghost runner on third or first. This is real life. What type of pressure do you think these relievers feel when you have that guy on second base?
Yeah, I wouldn't like, if I was a reliever, the fact that they get a loss, that into the stats. If the ghost runner or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
What do they call it?
I don't know. Is it a ghost runner? What is it? Lyle's a ghost runner?
They have a name for it on there. It's called a
lot of people just call it the ghost runner. Some people just call it the runner on second. There's not really an official term for it.
I'm going ghost runner.
I've heard the Mariners broadcast team say that they call it something, and I'm blanking on it. I don't know. Maybe the text line can help us out. But the point is, when that run scores, I think it's messed up that the reliever gets a loss if they end up losing. And that run that got automatically put on second, it's just crazy.
So who should get the loss then?
I don't know. It should be a little asterisk or something. Because that, I understand in the old extra innings, if you get the loss, the guy has to go first, second, third, home. But you're just thrown out there. It shouldn't be considered the same. I don't know. There's got to be some way to differentiate those 2 losses.
You're a very considerate person.
Yeah.
You're a nice guy.
Thank you. Thanks, Bomb.
Take the L. Runner on second, you let him in. Take the L, man. That's what it is.
But on that, Trent Thornton crushed it. 2 innings, not letting that ghost runner score.
Yeah.
Big strikeout, really to get to that point. And yeah, it was a good showing for Trent Thornton.
I was watching that game with my son. I told him it looks like Trent's about to go teach a science class right after this. Right after this, he's about to go teach some science. Trent, great job. Mariners, good road trip.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Cal Raleigh announced Friday that he will participate in the Home Run Derby July 14th in Atlanta. Raleigh's dad will be his pitcher, and his little brother will catch for him. Here's the announcement on MLB Network.
Earlier today, Cal Raleigh announcing that the Big Dumper is going to be in the Big Home Run Derby. Look at that. He has embraced the best nickname in baseball, by the way. Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh, who's ready to get dumped. He said he's considering swinging from both sides of the plate.
Like it. You don't get worn out as easily, right? Switch it up. Work those obliques from both sides.
Cal Raleigh is a switch hitter. Why not go up there and swing from both sides of the plate? I like the theory behind it too, right? Just, save the obliques. Swing from a different side. You are a switch hitter, B. Waltz. Would you, we played in a wiffle ball game. What was like a year or 2 ago?
Yeah.
You didn't switch it then. Why'd you stay on that side?
I'm going to tell you exactly why. So, is Cal Raleigh's dad a righty or lefty?
Good question.
So, if he's a righty, as a switch hitter, I never go lefty on lefty. I never go righty on righty.
Right.
You just aren't used to seeing the ball almost starting at your head.
Yeah.
And so to me, that'd be really weird if Cal was switching. If his dad's a righty and he goes up right-handed, I don't think I would like that as a hitter. I don't think Cal would like that either. So if his dad's a righty, I think Cal's going to stick to the lefty. If his dad's a lefty, I think Cal will go right-handed because that's just what you're used to. But good for him. What a moment. His brother involved, his dad involved, throwing BP. I'm so happy Cal's in it. Definitely makes me want to watch it again. I think the last home run derby I watched was when Julio was in it. Other than that, I kind of forgot it even existed.
Man, I watched. I was at the home run derby when Julio was here in T-Mobile, and if you listen to the Bump and Stacey show, I've told the story before. I was a fanboy. That was the first time. I'm standing up, I'm cheering, let's go Julio. So now that Cal's in it, I'm going to be locked in as well. Cal, go ahead and win this thing.
Also, for anybody that's worried about his swing in the Derby, I really wouldn't be. Because what's the Derby set up for? It is to pull the ball with power in the air. What's Cal Raleigh's whole game? He pulls the ball with power in the air. It's the whole thing.
You heard it from here, from Lyle. Y'all relax.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Last thing, man, a statue honoring Sonics legend Lenny Wilkens was unveiled in a ceremony at Climate Pledge Arena Saturday. Wilkens led the Sonics to their only NBA championship as a coach in 1979. He's the only person inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame 3 times as a coach, as a player, and as an assistant coach for the Dream Team. The Seattle Times reported over the weekend that Sue Bird's statue at Climate Pledge will be unveiled when the Storm take on the Mercury on August 17th. We spoke to Lenny last year, remember, a 12th man flag raiser. And when you sit down with royalty like that, a guy with so much knowledge, you don't want those interviews to end. I really enjoyed my time talking to Lenny. First thing I did was call my grandma. I said, Grandma, you have no idea who I just spoke to, and she was hyped for it.
Yeah, I think my dad called me and said, "Oh, man, like you got to talk to Lenny Wilkens. You got to interview him. That's incredible." But have you seen the statue? You see a picture of it?
No.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah,
they did a good job. It's very realistic, and it's young Lenny Wilkens. And
young Lenny.
The hair looks real. I don't know how they do that. It's pretty incredible.
It's the same artist that did Edgar's and Ken Griffey Jr.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
Well done. So it's good to get those basketball statues out front. Now let's get a basketball team in there.
Get a squad in there. I'm glad they didn't get the guy who did Cristiano Ronaldo's statue. That was the worst statue I've ever seen in my life.
Or D-Wade.
Yeah, so thank you for doing Lenny right.
Yeah, who okays those? That's the real question. Who said that's good? Let's unveil that one.
You saw D-Wade's son's face when they unveiled the statue, right? Y'all got to fix that.
If I ever got a statue, I hope that they check with me before they
check
show
with you.
Me. Yeah, check with me.
But they want to surprise you though. Juanita High School, get on your job.
Let me
need
at
a
least see a
B-Wall
statue.
statue.
I don't need to see the real thing. Give me like a little.
Yeah.
What's the? Yeah, no.
Or
I
Cornell.
gotta check with them.
Cornell, Juanita High School. You guys get this thing going. B-Wall needs a statue. Check with him first, okay? All right, we're gonna check in with Ray Roberts when we come back. Talk a little football. That's next. You're listening to the Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
We've got some breaking news.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
If you're going to get tossed meatballs and stuff, all you got to do is connect. You have enough power. You got a big dumper. That ball is going to travel.
What would happen if you switched Cal and Judge? Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby Monday, July 14th, right here on Seattle Sports.
Hey, everybody, it's Bob Stelton here. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for refractive lens exchange. Now, if you're somebody like me who struggled with distance vision, maybe you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution like it was for me. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. K2 Vision RLE is quick, painless, and I am seeing great now without glasses or readers. I can actually read restaurant menus. I can read the receipts when they show up. I can read texts on my phone. It's amazing. RLE is an absolute game changer. I'm so excited to spend my good active years not needing reading glasses. K2 Vision RLE gave me great vision that's permanent. The doctors at K2 Vision have performed over 150,000 lens procedures, so they know when RLE is right for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. K2VisionRLE.com.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, what's it? Hand sanitizer? It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid for below 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, experience the power of choice. Whether you're cruising in a fuel-sipping Prius, tackling trails in a rugged Tacoma, hauling with the mighty Tundra, or commuting in comfort with the Camry or RAV4, your perfect Toyota is waiting. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. 2 locations, endless possibilities. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, the power of choice is yours. Visit their incredible team and beautiful showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Get ready to rock with Bret Michaels at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Thursday night, July 10th. Rock and roll rebel Bret Michaels. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Bret Michaels rocks your world July 10th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help, call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Wait, if I work today, why should I have to wait 2 weeks to get my money? With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
This is the Brock and Salk Show. Got a different version of it. You got me, Michael Bumpus, and my guy Brian Walters joining us to our doing the show today, I should say. And on the text line now, we got the big homie, Big Ray. Ray, how we doing?
I'm chilling like a villain, dude, trying to get the week started off to, a good start. So no better way to do that than with my man Bump and Brian.
Hey, and, Brian said we got to give you some props. And he just showed me a video of your golf swing. You downplay your swing, dog. You got a cool swing. You got a nice little swing,
Ray.
dude.
I play. It's like that whole like beginner's luck thing where you don't play for a long time and then you play and everything seems right and then you start thinking about it and then it all falls apart. That's my game.
That's the definition of golf right there.
You got a great tempo. That's my struggle. I play too much. I get real snappy at the bottom and stuff. But you look smooth, Big Ray. You look good, man.
I appreciate that, bro. You know, I try to represent the broadcast team. You know, I'm the lowest ranking golf player on the team, so every now and again I got to carry my weight a little bit, you know. So when we're out there doing our thing, I got to try to do my thing every now and again.
Yeah, I want your tempo, Big Ray. That's what I'm going for. I'm just gonna watch a video of your swing over and over again and get that tempo ingrained in my mind.
Well, I appreciate that, homie.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk some football, Big Ray. Let's talk some ball, man. And my first question to you it has nothing to do with the Seahawks, honestly. It has to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got Jalen Ramsey is going over there. You got DK Metcalf over there, and you have Aaron Rodgers. What is that group text looking like? Those are some personalities over there, Big Ray.
That is a really interesting one, man, because everybody's going to want to dominate the conversation. So it's like text on top of text on top of text, conversations all over the place. From doing our blackout cave dwelling with Aaron, and then the other two guys are just so snappy with their words and reactions to things. So it's going to be really interesting. But I do love that. The thing I think that is cool is that they all have like a deep respect for Mike Tomlin, and he doesn't seem to kind of cater to a lot of the nonsense. And so I think that maybe he can kind of, extract some of the sensibilities out of these guys and get them all pointing in the right direction and not let their off-the-field stuff be distractions.
Hey, Big Ray, this is kind of the dead time, right, in NFL. It's very quiet. Players go everywhere. Coaches are on vacation, all that. And it's kind of time to look back and recap kind of the whole offseason program and what happened. Do you have anything that kind of sticks out to you with the Seahawks? What was your favorite move or favorite maybe event or thing that happened with the Seahawks this offseason?
Well, the thing that's interesting, Brian, is that I think they've proven it started during the season, when they were made the decision to move on from the linebackers. It showed to me that they're not afraid to own their stuff, whether it's good or bad or indifferent, and they're not afraid to course correct. And so then you go into the off season and all of a sudden you're thinking that there's going to be, probably some tension in the negotiations with Geno and DK, but you thought they'd be here. But then they had to course correct and move on without him. And I think something like that, it doesn't matter how they got to the place where they had to move on, they decided to move on. And that takes a lot of strength in your leadership. It takes a lot of strength in what you believe is possible. It takes a lot of strength in what you believe in the people that you have on the roster and the people that you can bring in. And so to me, this offseason, whether you like the moves or not, to me spoke more to the quality of the leadership of the staff that they have here, that McDonald isn't afraid to say, okay, well, that's not working. Let's keep it moving and move on to the next thing. Because sometimes you can hang on to stuff long enough that it does become toxic, and then that doesn't help anything. The other thing that I will say, and I have to give them the new staff, Kubiak, them with some credit with the offensive line, is that they didn't panic when there were free agents available. And everyone thought that one or two guys should have been signed, and they did get signed for whatever reason. One guy didn't want to do a physical before signing and things like that. But I was one that was really critical. I thought that they probably should have found a veteran or two in free agency to bring in, but they stuck to their guns, and they believe in the guys that were here. And it looks like they drafted a good quality draft class of linemen that have some good players at the top and some developing players in the middle and down and at the bottom of it. And so I have to just tip my hat to them that they just said, we feel that we have what we need here. And so hopefully they have, a good development plan for those players. So I have to give them a little bit of credit for, just sticking to their guns and maybe doing some things that people didn't expect them to do. But in the spirit of their leadership and how they've run the team since they've gotten here, it just kind of goes with it.
Hey, Ray, I was thinking about this wide zone scheme, and I think naturally people look at the guards in the center and talk about the double teams and climbing to the linebacker level. But then I started thinking about the tackles on the back side of things. Like, unless you're locked in on that DN or that wide nine or whatever, you're on the backside and you're climbing, trying to get to backers and to safeties or whatnot. How do you feel like Cross and Abe Lucas will do in that scenario?
Dude, it's all about the angles. If you take proper angles, you give yourself a chance. But I've been on the backside of those stretch plays, and it is a challenge, bro.
Right, for real.
You're trying to chase down safeties and linebackers, and it's just, it's a deal there, homie. You know what I'm saying? So you try to sometimes just get in the way. Sometimes the backside linebacker, if he's playing like outside the tackle box and things like that, you have a good angle. But a lot of times they're already like a gap in front of you, so you're having to take really flat angles to get to a place where you can, get to a cutoff on the backside. A lot of times you're just trying to occupy them long enough that if the running back, makes a break into the open field, that maybe they're in the chase position versus being in a position to make the tackle before they get going. But I can remember going to the sideline of games during games, and we're just running to the right. Most teams are heavy right-handed in the run game. And so I pick up the phone and I go, our offensive coordinator was Sly Crooms, and I go, Sly, like, man, I really want to play today, but I'm just out here chasing these little dudes. Like, that's not what I get paid to do. Can we get at least one run to the left side? Like, I need to hit somebody's face mask. I'm like, I'm just chasing the backs of I'm just chasing names, because all I can see is the names on the back of the jersey. And so, but yeah, like I think it's, to me, like, the backside of the wide zone for the tackle isn't as important as like the backside of between the tackle, because you can cut that all the way back. More than likely, you're not going to take the wide zone and totally reverse field and come all the way back to the backside that way. So there's either going to be a gap in the front side that you're just hitting that hole and you're gone for how many ever yards. But there's not a whole lot of cutback into that unless the defense is really flowing really quickly to the outside. Then it's almost not even a cutback. You just kind of roll into an open space that becomes available because of the horizontal line movement.
Big Ray, with this scheme, with the wide zone, which running back do you think benefits most from it? Do you think it's more of a K9 kind of scheme, or is Zach Charbonnet, could he thrive or this, or even to go deeper, like which running back would you rather block for in this scheme?
Well, I'd block for any of them, but if I could get back out there right now, Brian, I would not be complaining about who I'm blocking for. This dude's making lots of money. No, I would say, honestly, for me, like, there's maybe like a combination between Charbonnet and the young guy, because I just need K9 to be a little more patient in his willingness to just reverse field. It's one thing when you put your foot in the ground and you make a cut, and it's a definite cut. I'm cutting it back to the backside B gap. It's a different thing when you totally come to a stop, reverse field, and you're trying to get all the way back to the outside on the opposite side. That's really hard to do, and that's either you're either gonna get a home run or you're gonna lose 5 or 10 yards, or you're gonna lose yards. You put yourself in a bad situation. So his style, I don't want to say it's undisciplined because it's his style, but his style to me needs more patience and structure to it, in a way that you have to allow things to happen. You got to be quick but not in a hurry. You can't, that type of thing. So if they can corral that in him, then to me he's probably the best guy, because he's quick, he's fast, he can make people miss, even when he running through the A gap or whatever it is. And so he has that home run ability. But just as far as like just me going, man, like these are the dudes I think that might be more consistent in it. I think McIntosh and Charbonnet, for me, at the beginning, are those dudes.
Hey, Big Ray, one of the questions I get asked often when talking about the Seahawks out in the public, people are like, how's Sam Darnold? What's his leadership like? And Big Ray, I've been out there for some practices, and he doesn't seem like the leader that just pops out. Like even with Geno, you felt him out there. With Russell, you felt him out there. With Sam, it kind of like he blends in. But then you hear about the way the players talk about him, and it's glowing, right? They love him. They love his leadership. Have you ever dealt with a quarterback that kind of maneuvered that way, and do you feel like he can still have success if he's not that vocal type of guy?
But yeah, I think he can have, because there's different ways to lead. Like, not every leader has to be the loudest the voice in the room. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, those dudes that are doing the most talking are not the leaders. You know, they're not the people that are been listened to, that move people, that get people to motivated or inspired or whatever. So I think you have to be able to embrace different leadership styles, because there's no one style that does it, you know, that kind of gets it going. You have to be authentic to who you are, and you have to like roll the way that you roll. That if you can establish your leadership that way, that's the best kind, because otherwise you're trying to be someone that you're not. So if he's not the vocal type, if he's not the dude that's going to get up in front of the room and speak and do all that kind of stuff, then that's fine. But he's doing it in his own way. So he may sit down and have conversations with people. He may go out to dinner with the defensive backs. He may like have the offensive line over, like those types of things. And so like he doesn't have to be so loud and vocal to do that. I think today leadership in our country is just such a distorted idea of what it is, because you have to feel like you have to always be the biggest, loudest voice in the room, and that's just not always the case. And I hopefully that's what you're hearing from these guys, is that he's more of a, you know, for the lack of a better phrase, like he's in more intimate situations where he's having to sit down with some guys, or he's hanging out with some dudes, or he's having a conversation with one or two guys here or there, you know, having conversation with the receivers or the running backs or the defensive backs, that kind of stuff. You know, I tended to be a dude that wasn't afraid to be in front of the room. And so when I was in Detroit, you know, Barry was our unquestioned leader, but Barry didn't say a whole lot. And so I would just go, hey, I started every meeting with, this is what Barry wanted me to tell y'all. And because in his whether he said it or not, his words carried more weight than mine. And so, but he wasn't the one that was going to stand up in front of the room and say it. And so we just kind of played it that way. And so, but if the team is responding, that's the most important thing.
Big Ray, man. He always drops those Barry Sanders references, and it just, it makes me laugh, makes me smile. My favorite athlete of all time right there, but it's so good. Hey, Big Ray, going into training camp, got a few new rookie offensive linemen. You got the first rounder, Gray Zabel, but let's go to these other two, Bryce Cable-Dew and Mason Richmond. Which one of those guys maybe have you seen could have the biggest impact this season, or maybe challenge for a spot, a backup role, or whatever? Which one do you think we'll know more of at the end of the year?
You know what? I can't say that I would. I'm just going off of when I just scouted what I saw on the film. Like, it's hard to come to camp when they're not really doing anything to have any type of an opinion from what you're saying in like mini camps and things for offensive linemen. But I think with the two of those guys, I do feel that between all of those kind of interior linemen that they brought in and that they have currently, that there's going to be added competition at that center spot, and then added competition at that right guard spot. Because I know that Haynes and Bradford are probably like the leading candidates for that spot. But these other two dudes, the things I like about them is just they're like the quiet. I call them like silent but violent dudes. Like they don't say a whole lot. They might not even hurt the grass when they're walking around. They're just kind of easy going with it. You know what I'm saying? But they're very tough, physical, and athletic enough. Like, there may be some times where athletically I think both of them may have some challenges. But the thing that I love above that is that their willingness to not be afraid. And to me, that's I played with a guy, Mike Compton, in Detroit. Not the most athletic dude, but the dude that was always ready for the fight. Never afraid of anybody. If he had to take on Warren Sapp by himself, good. If he had to take on John Randall by himself, I got it. Like, he just wasn't afraid. And so to me, those are the types of players that these two guys are. They're just real tough, hard-nosed football players that may be limited at sometimes athletically, but physically and just mentally toughness, to me, is where it's going to be. So to me, it's too early for me to try to say what their contribution is going to be, because I need to see them with at least shoulder pads on. I just can't make a assertion based on what I see them running around in shorts and T-shirts.
Ray, you be hitting me with some nuggets, some sayings. He wouldn't hurt the grass. That's a good one, bro. That is a good one. He wouldn't hurt the grass.
We had a dude in Detroit we called Tip, and because it felt like he was tiptoeing all the time. It's like, dude, like the grass is gonna be okay, bro. And so we just called him Tip for short.
Oh, I like it. Hey, what do you think about the rotation we're seeing at the center spot? Olu got some reps. Haynes even got some reps. Sundell got some reps. I know you're an Olu guy. Do you feel like this is good, like the competition is good, or do you think that they should just roll with one guy and let him sink or swim?
No, I think the competition is good because no one has proven themselves. You know, Olu is a solid football player, but you know he has weaknesses too. You know, I think he's a guy that is very knowledgeable. He's going to always have you in the right place. He's probably not going to forget the snap count. He's going to make all the calls, probably not have bad assignments, missed assignments and things, but he does lack a little of explosion off the ball. And so, you know, when you're trying to work those double teams or he's getting manned up, you know, if they cover the two guards in the center and he has a one-on-one block, you know, driving guys off the ball, but then also being quick and athletic enough to maneuver in the pass game. We saw, I think it was maybe the Rams game late in the game where he got singled up in a one-on-one pass rush and the guy put a couple moves on him and he didn't quite respond to it well enough. And then Geno threw the interception to the right side where it looked like DK may have run the route or didn't run the route or whatever it was. But he got early pressure from the guy that was rushing over Olu. So there's a lot to still improve there. And then these other guys have shown that they have some explosion, they have some athleticism and those types of things. So then you got to like harness that into being, you know, understand the assignment, being able to you know, lead the team, being able to make the calls, be able to get the snap count, all those kinds of things. And one thing I thought was interesting about Olu down the stretch last year was when Grubb said that when they put Olu in the game, that he was a calming force along the offensive line. So that says something too, because that means that he's communicating with guys and getting them in a place where they feel like they know what they're doing. So, but anytime you have competition, I think it's great because either you're going to rise to it or you're going to fall to it, and then hopefully they get a couple really good centers out of it because we've seen over the last couple of years that's a spot where at least 2 or 3 games are going to be missed because of injury.
Big Ray, I got to ask you this before we let you go.
Yeah.
This could be a long-winded one, I'm not sure, but give me your best Barry Sanders story. You played with him. I can't get enough Barry Sanders. What you got a good Barry Sanders story for us?
Man, like I have some good ones that I probably can't share though. But no, I would say there's 2 things. One is that we used to do these warm-ups, and they were like these dynamic warm-ups, and so you had to. You know, sometimes it's almost like you're out there dancing some of the things that we were doing. And so you think if anybody on the team who can, you know, move their hips the way Barry does, that these warm-ups would be no problem for Barry. Well, then you would look over and you'd go like, oh my gosh, did like Will Ferrell take over Barry Sanders' body? Like he just could not roll his hips, like standing there. You're just like, man, like really, Barry? Like you're struggling with this? Like it was just the weirdest looking thing to see how sometimes stiff he was trying to do it, but then you had him to football and his body became like, you know, Mr. Stretch a lot or whatever. He could do anything. But then the other thing was that as great as Barry was, a lot of people didn't really, because he's so naturally gifted and talented, people didn't really give him credit for the work that he put in. This dude worked hard at what he did. Like he worked hard in the weight room. He would stay after practice and do extra reps, extra sprints, even on our Fridays, which we called hat days. You know, you're just wearing a baseball cap to practice. And then we had like food and stuff afterwards and massages and all this other kind of things. Everyone couldn't wait to get to the locker room. You turn around and Barry was running sprints from the back of the end zone to the back of the end zone, like on a Friday practice. And nobody else was doing that type of stuff, you know. And so Barry Sanders was an extremely hard worker, even though it looks like you just give him the ball and get out of the way. There's method to his madness, and there was a real grind to his success. It wasn't just all natural, God-given ability. The dude worked extremely hard.
Well, Big Ray, we always love having you on. Love your Barry Sanders stories, and I can't wait to have a beer with you. And you tell me the ones you can't tell on the airwaves.
Count me in on that, Big Ray.
And I'll show you some of the moves that he was trying. When I show you, you're gonna go like, man, he could not do that. You watch, and you're gonna die laughing. I promise you.
We appreciate you, big homie. Take care.
Yes, sir. You guys have a good one.
All right, that's Big Ray, man. He always hits you with some. He reminds me of like my uncles. He's from North Carolina. You know, I got family from the South, so every now and then they'll say some things like he wouldn't hurt the grass. Like that's some down south saying right there.
I mean, it puts a picture of these big men just walking just so softly, just
so gingerly, so gingerly.
It's good stuff.
So you liked Big Ray's swing, nice and smooth.
Yeah. How about this? I think Big Ray set me up to make me think that his swing's like the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like the way he's like, oh, no, I'm terrible. I'm an awful golfer. I don't play. And then I saw that, and I was blown away.
Yeah.
I was like, man.
Wait, this was a Seahawks event, right?
Yeah, go check out Big Ray's social media. I think it's on his Instagram. What is his handle?
Big Ray's Garage Grind, I think it is.
Are you willing to share with us who had the worst swing?
Oh, man.
The worst swing?
Or one of the worst?
I feel like, here's the thing about golf. No one's really good. Like, B-Wald is good. Like,
I'm okay.
I know out of the 20 golfers that I'll play with, 2 of them are really good. B-Wald and my guy James Lane, who's the head coach at Monroe High School Golf. Everyone else, we're just hacking away. We're just hacking away. So no one really has a really good-looking swing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who I saw. This was at the Seahawks Classic. They do a good job. It was a fun little tournament.
Love that tournament.
Yeah, really good.
So your first time playing?
I've always done it when they did it before the Boeing Classic. But they moved it this time of year, and it's just fun to get back. All the old players and all the past former Seahawks get together. It's really fun. So you see a lot of interesting swings. But Big Ray's impressed me the most.
Hey, Big Ray with that swing. And he's got to get super long clubs, too. My man is like 6'7". So
big grips.
He can't just go to Pro Golf Discount and be like, hey, give me the standards. You know what I'm saying? Pro Golf Discount, let's hook a deal up, man. Holla at me. All right. Hey, when we come back, man, we got more to do. We'll talk about these Mariners, the road trip, what we got from that. That's coming up next. I'm Michael Bumpus. That's B-Wall. This is Brock and Salk.
Bump and Stacy.
Talking baseball with Jason Churchill. Your view of this team's priorities at the deadline?
I think I would look at this from a window standpoint, from a winning window standpoint. I have 2, 3, 4, 5 years with this core to win. So I'm not going out on the market right now and spending the assets. You know, you don't want to throw your entire farm system into the trade deadline, right? So you want to minimize that as much as you can.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Tyrese live at Muckleshoot Event Center, Sunday, July 13th, 8 p.m. You've seen him on the screen. You've heard him on the radio. Now see him live for an unforgettable night. Get tickets before they sell out at muckleshootcasino.com. Tyrese, only at Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Kick off your 4th of July weekend with the Mariners fireworks show at Seattle's summer home, T-Mobile Park. It's a Mariners patriotic party this Thursday, presented by T-Mobile. Fly ball right field, sailing back, gone! Legend, Cal Raleigh! Catch Cal and the crew take on the Royals at 7:10. Then stick around as the sky explodes with red, white, and boom! Fireworks and Mariners baseball. That's 2 spectacular shows in one unforgettable night.
J.P. Crawford with a walk-off single. Holy smokes, what a finish.
Lock in your seats now at mariners.com/fireworks and check out the full fireworks lineup this summer, including an 80s night on July 18th and Show Tunes theme on August 1st. Plus, don't miss big-time giveaways like patriotic trucker hats on Friday and J.P. Crawford basketball jerseys on Saturday. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero. Jake Ewert just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to give you a minute.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It's kind of does, though.
Now, here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello!
Sight is Bump and B Walt. And now Brock and Salk. Thank you for dealing with us. This is the last hour of the Brock and Salk show. And man, these Mariners, they wrapped up a 10-game road trip, 3 extra inning games against the Texas Rangers, and now we just got news that Montez Ford and Durangelo are going to play in the Futures game in MLB All-Star Weekend. That should be fun, get some representation there. But this was an interesting road trip. I think you pointed out, we were talking about this before the show, and you pointed out they dealt with some weather. I mean, they had extreme wind in Chicago. You got the rain in Minnesota. They got it all, and no days off. These guys are back now. They're playing with the Royals tonight. It's going to be a nice little run for these dudes.
Yeah, this is the game tonight that you just hope you can show up. That it's not just kind of a letdown because, man, not only the win in Chicago, the heat was something.
Yeah.
That'll wear you out. And then you go to Minnesota and you kind of are lounging around a little bit for the last 2 days, wondering if you're going to play. I think that can take a lot out of you. You get into Texas late, and then Texas, you get 3 extra inning games just with the doctor order, just what you need. Just after all that, the heat and the delays, you get extra inning games. So then your bullpen's beat up a little bit going into today. So, yeah, quite the road trip. And to me, it's big time that they came out 6-4 on that road trip because it could have been all those factors, all those elements going on. It could have been a lot worse than that. So you got out of there with the winning record. You split the series with the Twins, but won a big series against Chicago, against the Cubbies, which is huge. So I don't know. To me, that road trip's a win, but you just hope that road trip doesn't take. Doesn't hurt you here for this homestand.
Right.
Yeah.
Lau, what impressed you the most about this team during this road trip?
I would say the Garver thing stands out because he hasn't had a game like that yet this year where he really just put the team on his back and he carried him to a win. I mean, remember, this is a guy that for a couple months of the year only had 1 homer and it came off a position player. So to see him do what he did this weekend on Sunday and not just hit a home run, but that ball was pulverized that he hit back in the 12th inning. I would say him, and then again with Brian Wu. Moore and I talked about it at 6 o'clock. It's going to be an uphill battle to get him into the All-Star game with how good other starters across the American League have been. But I hope one way or another they find a way to get his name in there because he deserves it. Like, that was 6 dominant innings he put together again on Saturday, despite the loss. Those 2 storylines really jumped out.
And the other thing about Garver, too, we forget he got cracked in the jaw. I mean, he got hit in the face. He didn't know if he was going to have to go on the IL or anything. He had to go out of the game. So then he steps up and does that. So pretty impressive by Garver.
It's crazy. Even with the it gets lost, the Harry Ford story this weekend where he was on the taxi squad. He's hanging out. He doesn't know if he's going to get activated and make his debut. And then not only did Garver end up being okay, but he won him a game. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's that's what I love about baseball. Yeah. I mean, taxi squad, a taxi squad.
This is the first I've ever heard of that.
First you've ever heard of it?
In baseball. Now, football, that's like the practice squad.
Practice squad, yeah.
But they can do everything with you.
Yeah.
They're with you all the time. So it's like they're part of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lau, I'm going to go to you again, man. Dominic Canzone, just your overall thoughts and feeling, because he goes down to Tacoma and tears it up. He comes up here he has 5 bombs, I think, since he's been called up. Is he a guy you think they're going to rely on here during the stretch of the season?
They're relying on him right now, that's for sure. I think ultimately we still need a little bit more of a sample size to see exactly what he's going to be moving forward and as the summer progresses. But right now they're absolutely relying on him because he's forced their hand. He's a guy that said, look, we need him in the lineup every time there's a right-handed pitcher on the mound because in his short stint back up in the big leagues, he's proven it. Like, he's doing damage. He hit another homer this weekend. And by the way, he's a guy that's mostly crushed fastballs so far in his young career. He's had trouble with breaking balls throughout his first couple of years in the big leagues. That home run he crushed on Saturday was off a curveball.
Oh,
so he was right on it. He got to it, and that's a big sign. If Canzone's going to start to hit breaking balls with authority, that's the next big step for him and how he could progress as a hitter. So to see him do that this weekend, I think that jumps out.
Canzone doesn't just get the ball barely over the fence.
Nah,
when he hits home runs, they are deep. I mean, he absolutely smashes those balls. So no, it's fun to watch him hit. And when he gets a hold of it, it's good. Yeah.
You know, a name that we have to talk about, obviously, is Julio Rodriguez, right? He had 3 singles yesterday. An okay series, 7 hits at 15 at bats or something like that. 1 extra base hit, only drove in 1 run, but you need to see this from Julio, right? I know that it's not the exit velo that we want to see from Julio, but the fact that he is just squaring the ball up and getting on base is something that you need to see going into the second half of the season because you can't just rely on Cal. We're seeing that now. Cal hasn't hit a bomb, 5 or 6 games or something like that. You need other guys to step up. So though the production wasn't there when it comes to driving in runs and extra base hits, he's still getting on base, and that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think, just the singles. I think he had a hard-hit single off the middle, too, if I remember. So he's making good contact. Then you go later or earlier in that series, or not the series, but the road trip, and he has a couple sacrifice flies that you haven't seen from him lately. So it's a situational hitting. And so I think Julio's kind of getting out of the swing for the fences mode every single time, and he's starting to be a little more just kind of taking the pitches as they come. Hey, we need a sacrifice fly here. Boom, I can make that happen. I need to get on base. I need to use my legs on the base path. hit a couple singles and score some runs. So it's everything's a positive sign for as far as Julio goes moving forward.
Yeah, another positive has been Luke Raley. Since he's come back, he's had a decent showing in this month so far. Lyle, how important is Luke Raley to what they want to do? Because this is what I think, Lyle. I think that the Mariners are going to say, look, man, we got Luke. Man, Robles is going to come back soon. We don't need to do much at this trade deadline because we're going to get addition within the organization.
That's not how I would personally approach the trade deadline, but to have Luke Raley back does matter because he provides power, a little bit of speed, can play some good corner outfield defense. You can also move him to first. Look, I'm not going to overstate who Luke Raley is as a player, but I will say, he plays a valuable role on this team, and getting him back lengthens that lineup a little bit to have another guy with extra power that can run the bases, again, that can really crush right-handed pitching. So Luke Raley plays a nice role on this team. I'm not going to sit here and say he's a superstar by any means, but he plays a role, and when he gets hot, he can get really hot. And to see him in his first week back, you've seen the damage he's done. It's made a difference.
Right.
You saw it in Minnesota. He hit the 3-run bomb that put the game out of hand early.
Fact. I stand corrected. I meant launch angle for Julio. The text lines will keep you honest, bro. They will keep you honest. Not exit field, a launch angle. Thank you, text lines, for your accountability. Yeah, Luke Raley, and he's such a fun player to watch for me. If there was any guy who could play tight end in the NFL, I look at Luke Raley and say that is my guy, man. Just the effort that he plays with running down the first base and whatnot. I love watching that dude do his thing. But to me, it all comes down to this rotation, right? Can this rotation stay healthy? We saw Castillo bounce back the other day. He had a rough outing. I think either the last time or the time before that we saw him. You talk about Wu doing his thing. The state of the rotation, Lyle, how do you feel about this rotation? Are you a guy that says there's 3 different angles I've heard with this trade deadline? Go get a reliever, go get a bat, go get a starter. I'm good on the starter. I'm looking at reliever and a bat. How do you feel about the rotation?
Nah, they're not going to trade for a starter. The rotation's not just the strength of this team, but it's expected to be the strength of this team. So I think what the second half really is going to depend on is Logan Gilbert and George Kirby getting back to who they're meant to be and who they're expected to be. And Logan Gilbert in his first couple starts back, you've seen the swing and miss, and you've seen the ace level stuff, but you want to see him start working deeper into games the way he did most of last year. And then with Kirby just finding his groove on a more consistent basis. So far you've seen him strike out 14 in a game like he did against the Angels, but then he's had a couple starts where teams have kind of jumped on him a bit. So yeah, they're not going to trade for a starter because these are their guys. These are who they've banked on to carry their team. It's more about those guys along with Brian Wu, who's already doing his thing, getting back to who they're supposed to be. If Logan Gilbert and George Kirby pitch the way they're supposed to pitch in the second half, you're going to see a rotation that looked a lot more like last year.
I want to know where you saw that they needed to trade for a starter. You said 3
No,
angles.
I didn't see it. I do a show.
was talking about it with Wyman and Bob a little bit.
I do a show called The Bump and Stacy Show. So I've
never heard of it.
We had some people come on and they talk about maybe getting an arm, but that's the thing about baseball. It changes every week. I've heard the same person come on our show and say they need a starter arm. No, now they need a reliever. Actually, I'll go a bat. When you're playing, 17 days in a row, your opinion on this team is going to change dramatically. I flipped so many times throughout the season. That's why I love what we do. All right, that was, you know what, Lyle? You shine, dog. You shine during that segment. We appreciate you, man. All right, when we come back, man, we'll get to what you need to know. That is next. We're going to talk a little bit of baseball, maybe talk a little bit of football, too, since we got B. Walt here. I'm Michael Bumpus. That's Brian Walters. This is the Brock and Salk Show.
We've got some breaking news.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
If you're going to get tossed some meatballs and stuff, all you got to do is connect. You have enough power. You got a big dumper. That ball is going to travel.
What would happen if you switched Cal and Judge? What if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby Monday, July 14th, right here on Seattle Sports.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
June is Men's Health Month, and we want to place a special emphasis on prostate cancer awareness and treatment. It's important for men to communicate about issues relating to their health, especially family health history. Prostate cancer has been in the news, and right now I'm joined by Dr. Landis from the Swedish Cancer Institute. Dr. Landis, how common is prostate cancer?
Prostate cancer is very common. About 1 in 8 men will develop prostate cancer here in the U.S. That ends up being about 300,000 cases per year.
How can men test for prostate cancer?
Well, first thing, patients should ask to have PSA screening from their primary care doc. Anyone 50 or over, and if you have a family history starting at 45 is pretty typical.
If diagnosed, why should patients seek out Swedish CyberKnife for treatment?
What we hear from patients all the time is that treatment really was amazing. They didn't have to take time off of work. The side effects are really minimal, and there was minimal interruption in their lives.
Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Go to swedish.org/CyberKnifeProstate.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app. Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
Talking about the Mariners' plan for the trade deadline. You think people are reticent to the minor leagues and trade some prospects? I know fans develop a connection to names they hear over and over. Often you don't see these guys. I don't know how many people are making trips out to Everett or out to Tacoma to watch the young guys, but there just aren't any sure things.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Get ready to rock with Bret Michaels at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Thursday night, July 10th. Rock and roll rebel Bret Michaels. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Brett Michaels rocks your world July 10th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older. Need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
You know what's faster than your paycheck? Literally everything. It's time to get your pay up to speed. With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Here's what you need to know on the Brock and Salk Show. I got Michael Bumpus, myself, and B-Wall filling in. Jalen Ramsey is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Minkah Fitzpatrick is going over to the other side. Dooley, you said there were some details that were released about that trade. What you got for us? Any details on the Jalen Ramsey deal? We got more details on that yet?
It ended up being, yes, we did get the rest of those details. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
It's all good.
It ended up being Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith went to the Steelers along with a 5th rounder, I believe, and then Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 7th rounder to the Dolphins.
There you go. All right, so the Noah Fant possibility isn't there anymore since Jonnu was over there. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, this is a big year for Mike Tomlin in my book. Because, look, you can only, we won more than half of our games or half of our games every single year. You have not won a playoff game since 2016, I believe it was. This is a big year for Mike Tomlin, and he's got a rental quarterback at the age of 42.
If Mike Tomlin can pull this off, have the Steelers make a run, Coach of the Year easily.
Coach of the Year?
Coach of the Year.
Okay.
I mean, I've always liked Mike Tomlin. He's there's no reason not to like Mike Tomlin. Seems like everyone who's played for him has appreciated him, what he does, one of the best leaders in the game. So this will be a challenge for him to all these characters coming in, but a lot of talent as well. So, again, you go either way with that.
Here's the thing about Tomlin, too. He's dealt with Antonio Brown. He wasn't bad until the end of his career. You had Plaxico Burress over there, who was an issue a little bit. Chase Claypool, who was an issue a little bit. He's dealt with some guys, and why is it always the receivers, man? What's wrong with
We're
this?
divas, man.
What's wrong
We're
with
divas.
This? Gosh,
We are
apparently.
divas.
That's unfortunate. But we'll see how that works out over there in Pittsburgh. You got, obviously, DK over there with Jalen Ramsey. You got Jonnu Smith and Aaron Rodgers. On paper, they look competitive, but we know they're in a tough division.
This is good news for the Seahawks, though, this trade. Just to get Jalen, not because there was rumors he was going to go to the Rams.
Right.
The Rams were trying to get him back, so now that he didn't end up in the NFC West, that's big news for Seahawks fans out there. You don't have to deal with Jalen Ramsey twice a year.
No, you don't.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
There's also what you need to know, man. The M's 6-4 on that road trip. They had 3 games that went into extra innings. The first time that we saw that in a 3-game series since May 2015. I was watching the games and I'm thinking, deja vu. Am I seeing this again and again and again? And yes, it is true. You take 2 out of 3 from the Rangers. I'm all for that. And I like where this team is. They've dealt with some adversity. Didn't know if Mitch was going to be able to bounce back from getting hit in the jaw. He does it in a big way. Hits a game-winning bomb in extra innings. This is a stressful team. And every year I get to this point, B-Walt, where I'm just stressed out with this team. But when you look at the roster, what else do you expect? This is a team that's going to have to grind some wins out and do what they do.
And that's exactly what that road trip was a grind the whole time. I mean, you went from the heat, you went from the delays of the weather, then you went to extra inning games. It just seemed like there was something new every single series, and they pulled it out. They're 6-4. Couldn't ask for anything better. Maybe one more win against the Twins I would have been happy with, but again, there was circumstances there. So they are happy to be home. I'm excited to see them take on the Royals tonight, and I hope that I don't know how they're going to feel re-energized, considering there are no days off here, but I hope that they are. Somehow, some way, they slept in their own bed last night and ready to go today.
Speaking of Mitch, he was 3 for 6 with 4 RBIs, including a game-winning 2-run home run in the 12th. Here's the skipper talking about him.
Yeah, Garv, some great at-bats, and hitting the ball hard. He's been swung the bat well, earlier in the road trip as well. So, giving Cal a spell today, behind the plate, but coming up huge with some huge knocks. And, that always feels good in front of the old team. But, Really good to see that from Garv. He's a grinder. He's worked hard, and again, making the most of those opportunities and executing them. And those were some huge RBIs for this team today.
Could you imagine a world where Garver gets hot, Solano continues to play the way that he's been playing, and then Julio, changes that launch angle just a little bit? This team could be something. How do you like this roster as it's constructed right now? Is this a playoff team, Lyle?
I think they're going to need some pieces at the deadline, but when you have Cal having maybe the greatest catcher season ever, you have a rotation that's now fairly healthy. They have the pieces for it. I think they just need to add a little bit more.
Got to add a little bit.
You said pieces plural. You think more than one hitter they need to add? Or you think
That'd
it's a
be nice.
pitcher, a reliever, and a hitter?
Well, it'd be nice to do all the above.
Is it possible, though? That's always a thing. It's fun to talk about, but is it even possible?
We want everything.
Everything.
We want everything. Unfortunately, we know how this goes. We'll see what happens at the trade deadline.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
I really like this one. Be a statue honoring legend Lenny Wilkens will be unveiled in a ceremony at Climate Pledge Arena Saturday. Wilkens led the Sonics to their only NBA championship as a coach in 1979. He is the only person inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame 3 times, a coach, a player, an assistant for the Dream Team. And then Seattle Times reported that Sue Bird is going to get a statue as well August 17th. We talked about Lenny a lot and love Lenny. We got to interview him last year. He was the 12th man flag raiser. There are some guys you just don't want to stop talking to. He was one of those guys. Sue Bird, I think we also interviewed Sue Bird as well, and it's going to be nice to have her represented in front of Climate Pledge.
Yeah, I have the playing in a charity basketball game for the past 3 seasons. Sue Bird was actually my coach, so I can say
Really?
Sue Bird was my coach.
How is she?
She was great, very positive. Didn't talk a whole lot. I think Gary Payton was the other coach at one point, and he was kind of the talker.
Yeah.
But she was great. It's just so fun having her around, and what a legend. Just to have two statues out front of this, out front of Climate Pledge, going to be pretty special for Seattle. Now, Bump, the next step is to get the Sonics back.
Get the Sonics back. And it feels like it's close. You hear Adam Silver talk about expansion. There's only 2 places you can go. Las Vegas and Seattle. I heard Austin get their name thrown in there. Columbus, Ohio get in there. But let's be real. This is a basketball city. The players that this city produces, it's crazy.
Yeah. Now, Lakers, the first time the Lakers come back to Seattle and play, once the Sonics come back, are you sitting courtside watching that game?
You know I'm sitting courtside.
You're sitting courtside, big time.
Hopefully I ain't paying for it. Hopefully there's some realty company out there that can sponsor your boy or something. But I got to be courtside. That was one of the things that I was frustrated with the most. I move out here in 2008, and the Sonics are gone. And I'm like, man, I could have watched my guy Kobe play a few times every single year, but you know what? I'm with you guys. That's why we don't celebrate OKC's championship, because they denied me the opportunity to sit courtside and watch Kobe, because I could not afford it growing up. I get some money, and they take the team away, and I can't even watch my man.
Yeah, that was a rough day, I'll tell you what. It was so fun growing up with those Sonics, Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, and then just snatch it from us.
Snatch away from me.
Unbelievable. But I will say, Oklahoma City winning didn't hurt me as much as I thought it would. The whole year I'm rooting against them. No, please don't win, don't win. And once it happened, I was like, all right, you know what? These guys really have nothing to do with
You
the
know why?
Sonics.
Because we were in Suncadia playing golf. You had other things on your mind. That was the thing.
That is a good point.
All right, that's need to know. When we come back, we'll go around the NFL, man. The Giants running back has some things to say. That his name is Tracy. Man, he ran all over us last year, Tracy. But yeah, we'll go around the NFL, talk some football. That's next on the Brockett. I almost said Brock and Stacey show. Crazy. On the Brock and Salk show, we got Michael Bumpus filling in with my guy B. Walt.
Bump and Stacy.
Talking baseball with Jason Churchill. Your view of this team's priorities at the deadline?
I think I would look at this from a window standpoint, from a winning window standpoint. I have 2, 3, 4, 5 years with this core to win. So I'm not going out on the market right now and spending the assets. You know, you don't want to throw your entire farm system into the trade deadline, right? So you want to minimize that as much as you can.
Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Are you frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots and not getting the long-term results you really want? This is Dr. Ryan Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss, and whether you've hit a plateau, can't handle the side effects, or watch the pounds creep back after stopping, there's a better way. Our program has helped over 4,000 people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. Our doctor-developed program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast. Ready for real lasting results? Visit eastsideweightlossclinic.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Did he just say Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is half the cost and works twice as fast as weight loss injections? Well, if that's not reason enough, you don't risk the scary side effects or gaining the weight back as soon as you stop. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is natural, and it works.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, and you can do our program remotely from anywhere you live. Schedule your free consultation at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway, because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Introducing frequent flights between Boeing Field and a private terminal at Portland Airport. Seaport Airlines is transforming travel with convenience, comfort, and free parking just steps from your plane. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
Tired of sitting on your suitcase? 2 words, packing cubes. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Now open and free through summer.
Bump here for the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Last month's beach party event was such a success, they had too many trade-ins and now they need to liquidate. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. Shop the Got to Go used car sales event June 27th through July 6th at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram and all other Hazelwood locations. Just off the Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
Hazelwood has it.
Do you know a woman who gives her all to the sports community, encourages diversity, and empowers those around her? Stacey Rost here. Seattle Sports is partnering with the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events. We want to recognize a woman in our community, and we need your help finding her. Nominations for the 4th annual Women of Inspiration Award are open until July 11th. The winner will receive a donation to the cause of their choice. Nominate an inspiring woman today at woiseattle.org. That's woiseattle.org.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Dick's Epic 4th of July sale is on. Get summer ready with 25% off select Stanley drinkware. Get 20% off Igloo coolers and water bottles and select bog bags. Buy one, get one 50% off DSG coolers, canopies, chairs, and water bottles. $200 off Callaway AI smoke irons and TaylorMade QI10 drivers. These deals won't last. Stock up for summer now, in-store or online at Dicks.com. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Are you still using allergy pills and sprays to treat your allergy attacks? I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. Nasal congestion, sneezing, runny nose, snoring, facial pain are just a few of the sinus symptoms we can help you out with. From allergy workups and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced outpatient balloon sinuplasty, we can diagnose and treat your problems. Let us help you get relief easily, quickly, and permanently. Find us in Federal Way or Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
The average family throws out $3,000 of food every year. Now imagine what you can do with that. Go to a ball game, a concert, or a weekend getaway. It's G. Scott here. There are simple ways to reduce your food waste and increase your savings. It starts with a meal plan and ends with a little creativity. Fresh recipes, ingredient swaps. Learn more at usefoodwell.org, brought to you by the Department of Ecology and Safeway. Visit usefoodwell.org. That's usefoodwell.org.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I can almost guarantee B. Walt and Lyle do not know the song of the instrumental that's getting played right now.
Didn't even know there was a song going, honestly.
You didn't hear the instrumental?
I didn't listen.
You didn't hear it?
Headphones on,
Okay. All right. It's called Breaking Neck. Busta Rhymes. Just throwing that out there. That's why you guys got me here. I got you. Got your back.
Unbelievable.
I got your back.
Wow, I don't even know what to say. Do you have anything to say? I have nothing to say.
All I have to say is I only knew the name of the song because it's sitting here on the computer. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known it.
Have you heard of Busta Rhymes?
Yes.
Yes.
This is a thing on this show, right?
We have to ask Lyle because there's plenty.
Yeah,
No,
this is a
Bum's-
thing.
There's
Bump's
plenty
right.
of things Lyle doesn't know.
Bump's right. This is very much a thing on this show.
It's like with Matt, he doesn't know sports. So when Matt's on, we talk, with you, you're so young, like pop culture to you starts at like 2010, 2015 and to now.
Yeah, I mean, that's not totally wrong.
Yeah. Funny story. I used to train Lyle when he was in high school. We played baseball for the Kings. I used to wake up, was it Sunday mornings or something like that?
Yeah, so it's funny you get to this. I was going to try and work it in today because it's like the only chance that it works in and it's relevant. But yeah, Bump used to train me and a bunch of kids in high school. We would wake up at Saturday mornings, get there at like 7 a.m. for baseball workouts, and Bump would put us through the ringer.
Yeah.
That was the first time as a high schooler I ever really learned what a real workout was. I'd be dead at the end of those things.
Crazy. The universe. Look at the universe working.
What was it? What'd you say? Lake Washington, the Kangs?
Yeah.
Kangs.
Yeah, you like that?
That's
people?
unbelievable.
I know.
Oh, rival high schools.
It was rival.
Yeah. Rivals.
The chant was always, if you won the football game, we own Kirkland.
Oh, yeah?
It's always the chant.
That's still a thing.
Is it still a thing?
Yeah.
At least when I was in high school, it
Yeah,
was.
okay, good. I
Well,
like
Kings
that.
won another state championship this year, right?
Baseball, yeah. Good for them.
Beat Puyallup, who had the number one player in the country on their team, I believe. Yeah, good stuff. All right, I'm sure you guys care about all about that. All right, let's get to around the NFL. How does this work, Dooley? You're like,
Yeah, I'll read you some stories and
it's
you
my
guys
first time.
just react.
First time here. Okay.
So first up, Giants running back Tyrone Tracy joined Good Morning Football last week and was asked about the leadership on the team. And I'll just kind of read you what NFL.com wrote up on it. They said most expect Wilson to earn this job and trot out onto the field as the team starter in week 1, but he's not the only leader in the Giants locker room. According to Tracy, he said, quote, I wouldn't say leader of the pack because Jameis and Russ, they both have a really good dynamic to where they both respect each other. They both allow each other to lead in their own way, whatever it may be. If Jameis wants to say something, Russ is not going to come and say this is how it is. He'll let Jameis talk and lead his own way. How do you guys see this quarterback battle playing out? You've also got Jackson Dart, Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito. Stacy and Curtis's favorite quarterback, Tommy DeVito. Look, Russell's going to be the guy. He has to be the guy. I think he obviously has a better career than Jameis Winston. I appreciate Russell giving Jameis some space to be himself and to talk. But until they announce who the starter is, I think that's kind of the way you got to do it. You got to let both quarterbacks kind of lead in their own way. But it's got to be Russell Wilson, no doubt.
This is I'm putting myself in Tyrone Tracy's spot, and to me, this is something else. Like, I feel like it's an easy answer to say, "Hey, Russ is the guy. Russ is our leader." Like but it's almost like he knows something else. There's something else going on there, and maybe there's more of a battle than people are thinking it, and they're saying, "Hey, like maybe Jameis is really our guy that we're kind of has taken us under his reins. He's been the leader. Now, don't forget. They're kind of reminding you, don't forget about Jameis Winston.
Right.
You don't say that as a player.
Well, to be fair,
if Russ
Brian
is your guy.
Dable did, after the draft, say that Russ will be our starter. So he has been named the starter.
Okay.
And so there you go. Exactly. So Tyrone Tracy has no reason to even bring up Jameis Winston in that. And then he did. He went out of his way to do it. So to me, that's stirring something up. That gets me thinking maybe there's something going on there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You can say one thing during the draft, and then you get to OTAs, you get to mini camps, you see how guys respond. Here's the thing, too, is Jameis Winston is going to connect with the players better than Russell Wilson. Yeah. I think he's a nice guy. He'll be cordial. But Jameis is going to go out and eat with you. He's going to go out and go to the reins with you. Russell is on a level, or puts himself on a level to where he's almost untouchable. He doesn't do like the normal everyday type of things. So no, I think there might be something there. The only thing that kind of deters me from really believing that they're going to do this is just how they pay guys. You know how this goes. You play who you pay. And Russ is getting, $11 million this year. You got Dart getting 3. You got Jameis getting 3. DeVito getting 1. So Russell's going to get the first shot at this thing. But Jameis is going to own that locker room, I think.
What do you think? Let's say week 10, who's their starter? I'm going to say Jackson Dart's going to be starting by then. That's
week
my
10.
bold take.
That's your bold take. Week 10. Not
10.
Jameis?
Not Jameis. Not Russ.
Jackson Dart. See, I hope they don't do this to this young man.
Yeah,
I hope they let him sit, develop, because you know how this New York media is too, man. I mean, we're soft over here on the West Coast. East Coast, it gets a bit grimy, and I just don't want them to ruin it because I think Jackson Dart can be a good quarterback in this league, man. He's got all the tools, throws a strong football. He's mobile enough. He compared himself to Jalen Hurts, and then I went back and watched the film, and I see it. Yeah. I see Jalen Hurts. So, yeah, just don't ruin this, man. Let Russ and Jameis Winston sink this ship. Don't put that on Jackson, please.
I know, but Joe Shane, the GM, and Brian Dable are definitely fighting for their jobs.
Yeah, right. So you gotta put the best guy out there. So whoever that may be, we shall see.
Week 10. Here we go. Write it down.
Week 10. B-Wall said here.
It's probably their bye week, honestly. I didn't look that up.
All right, we were talking about. We were talking about this next story in break. I don't know the exact details on this because it's kind of floating around the aggregator websites, but it looks like Geno Smith was coaching in a game this weekend for something called the Overtime League, and his team won. Maybe he had been going back and forth with someone. He got a little fired up about it, and everybody's just focused on what he was yelling because he was fired up. I'll let you take a listen.
Big bucks. That's why I get paid the big bucks. That's why they bring the big bucks to me. That's why they pay me the big bucks. I do it.
Okay.
Just repeatedly yelling, that's why they pay me the big bucks.
Hey. He's getting $45 million.
Wait, he's also coaching there, isn't he?
He was coaching, yeah.
He didn't get paid the big bucks to coach?
No. But he's probably referencing. Listen, there's a lot of speculation going on here. We don't know the details of this whole thing, right?
Fair.
But he's probably coaching 7-on-7. It looks like it. And then his team probably drove down the field, scored, and won the ball game. And he's saying, my mind, I have that QB mind, that football mind. That's why they pay me the big bucks. Here's the thing about 7-on-7. I own a 7-on-7 program, Elite Training Academy. We don't just do 7-on-7, but we have 8 to 9 7-on-7 teams. You go to these deals. This is why I stopped coaching it myself. I let the young men coach my teams because you get these unqualified coaches, not saying Geno's unqualified coaches, couldn't make JV in high school. All of a sudden, they're living through these kids. It's getting rowdy. I've seen fights. We go to Las Vegas every year. There's a fight every single year. It is chaos in these 7-on-7 deals. So if you want your kids to be surrounded by good leaders and good young men and play football, come to Elite Training Academy because we do it the right way. We do it the right way. But 7-on-7 is wild, man.
Yeah, it is crazy how it's grown, too, throughout the years. 7-on-7 is a huge deal. It's the only way to really play year-round football. That exists only every other sport you can play year-round except football, but 7-on-7 is a way around that. And so I kind of like that. But I'm going to speculate what happened here. There's probably some coach on the other team sees Geno Smith across the sidelines, and he's giving him mouthfuls all game long, and Geno just had to clap back a little bit, and he got his 2 cents in.
He has posted since then. He said, having fun with the game, I love, but man, the need for clicks and negativity takes away from the great event that happened this past weekend. All the kids had fun and competed, all around great event. This is just how we talk in Dade County. I'm sorry, you might not understand. Carry on.
And that's part of it too. Yep. And that's part of the conversation. Now, I just poo-pooed on 7-on-7, but I also know that I poo-pooed on it. But I also know that that's part of the culture of competition as well. Like things that are said, I'm sure you've heard things said on the football field that you cannot repeat, right? Yeah. That's what I miss. One of the things I miss the most about competition, especially on the football field, is dudes say some crazy stuff. I've had dudes say some crazy stuff to me to where I couldn't even be mad. I just laugh at them like, bruh, you are crazy. Yeah. But it brings it out of you. So we are speculating. We don't know the full context behind this. Geno is a competitor. We know that about him. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and just say, somebody was talking crap, and he had to shut him up.
And he must have called a good game.
He must have called a great game. That's why they pay him the big bucks.
Well, and he didn't stop there because he's been going back and forth with people on Twitter ever since. Someone said that he needed to check his ego. He said Bro had average seasons at the end of his career, talking like he's done something, and he said, Seahawks fans, check the record books.
Facts. He's had the highest completion percentage for a season. He's thrown for the most yards in a season. He is in the record books. That's the thing is, He's not lying. Yeah. They pay him the big bucks, $45 million. Check their record books. I think people just don't like that the brashness of it.
Yeah.
But that's competition, man. People talk.
It's his personality. It's going to happen.
Were you did you talk a lot of crap?
No,
Me neither. I didn't. I just smiled.
Yeah, I actually tried to always have conversations with guys throughout the game. Like, hey, man, what's up? Like, what you got next week? That kind of thing. Yeah. It kind of threw them off. I think it took them off their edge.
Yeah.
That's what I like to think, at least.
You guys think? That's that Cornell
There's some
brain.
frustration from him for feeling like he had that chip on his shoulder from things not working out after being an early draft pick. And, like, I think he feels like he's proven that wrong, and he doesn't get the credit for it.
Let's go. So we low-key started bashing Geno, and I think we've all come around and said, we understand where he's coming from. You know what? That's Geno has a great story, so
it does.
I'm with it. Go ahead, Geno. Talk your talk. That's why they pay the big bucks, Geno. Let's go.
All right, next up, Ben Roethlisberger has a podcast called Footballin', with an H. It's weird. B-A-H-L-I-N. But he was asked if he would take Aaron Rodgers at his peak versus Patrick Mahomes now, and this was his answer.
Did someone ask a question about would I take Aaron in his prime or Patrick Mahomes now?
Yeah.
Well, I would take Aaron in his prime over Patrick now. I think Aaron Rodgers at his prime was one of the top few to ever do it, and so is Patrick Mahomes at his prime. Patrick Mahomes is just like entering out of his prime. I think.
You think?
I mean, Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I think Patrick Mahomes is a phenomenal. He's going to go down as a another arguable goat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there's only like one goat, but there's goats.
A whole herd of them.
There's a whole herd of goats.
Is that a herd? Aaron's better.
I think the Aaron in his prime. Then we're talking about Patrick right now.
Yeah.
If we're talking prime, then I'm gonna really have to think hard on that.
Is Patrick Mahomes not still in his prime?
He's right in the middle of his prime.
29 years old.
What are we talking about? Who was that, Dooley?
Roethlisberger.
He's saying that he's exiting his prime at this point about Mahomes. Oh, he's tripping. Here's the argument, though. I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers' numbers. In 2011, 45 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 2012, 39-8. Then he goes 2014, 38-5, 31-8, 40-7. Go down to 2020, 48-5. Aaron Rodgers in his prime was something special. At one point, he was considered the most talented quarterback that we've ever seen. Yeah. And I think the way that we view him now because of the end of his career, how, he's 42. I'm 39. I was playing horse with my kids the other day, and I was getting tired. Like, it just looks different. Let's not forget who he was. But the pushback to that is Pat Mahomes has done some things that we've never seen before. Throwing the football, creating plays. This is a tough argument. And Mahomes has, 3 Super Bowls to Aaron Rodgers 1. It's a team sport. I know we can't just lean on the Super Bowls, but I would say that we have to wait for this conversation. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers in his prime versus Mahomes now. I'd probably still take Mahomes now because I feel like he can just create more plays.
Yeah, and I think it's all about the Super Bowls when it's all said and done. Mahomes has led his team to 5 out of 6 the past Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something Aaron Rodgers never did. Now, when you watch Aaron Rodgers throw the ball, it's art.
It's beautiful.
In his prime, it's art. It is flick of the wrist, balls out. There's no one who does that better. But Mahomes in his own way does that as well. He's got some of those weird no-look passes, whatever he does, tosses, behind the back, whatever Mahomes does.
Yeah.
He's got his own little style to that. They're both some of the most talented quarterbacks we've seen ever, but I'm taking Super Bowls. I'm taking Mahomes.
Is this going to be like LeBron Jordan talk? Is that what we're doing? Well, no, because Tom Brady is Jordan. Excuse me. I mean, let me just, you know what? I'm not even going there.
But here's the thing: when people are comparing, can Mahomes get to Brady's level? And yes, the answer is yes, with more Super Bowls, right?
Yeah.
People aren't going to say that about Aaron Rodgers. Can Aaron Rodgers get to Brady's level? Because you don't have the Super Bowls.
You also have to factor in the off-the-field stuff. I've only heard people rave about Patrick Mahomes as a teammate. You've heard that Rodgers can be kind of difficult at times. So maybe that bleeds into not winning Super Bowls and Mahomes winning more Super Bowls. You never know.
But then Jordan was a difficult teammate too.
True.
Like it's an intriguing conversation because Aaron Rodgers' athleticism and just ability does not match his Super Bowls, right?
Yeah.
Like, you feel like he should have at least 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And he's gotten to the conference championship several times and haven't been able to come through clutch, but that's also part of it too. Mahomes comes through clutch. You need a drive with 1:15 left on the clock. He's going to drive down the field and make it happen to where it feels like Aaron Rodgers hasn't been able to do that.
I will say, in one conference championship, I don't know how many years ago, maybe back in 2014, maybe. I don't know what it was. Maybe against the Seahawks. Kind of wasn't Aaron Rodgers' fault that they lost that game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember that game?
I do remember that game a little bit. That was a fun game.
There was a stretch there where a Hail Mary didn't feel like a Hail Mary for Aaron Rodgers. He would just he would complete them.
Yes.
Toss it up.
100%.
Toss it up. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm taking Pat Mahomes on.
I am too. And also I'm bitter because Aaron Rodgers called me a kicker one time. So
He called you a kicker?
Yeah, one time.
Whoa. All right, explain. I need more.
I was at a workout in Green Bay before I came to Seattle, and I walked in the locker room, and Aaron Rodgers from across the room says, "Hey, what are you, kicker?" And I knew at that point I was not getting signed to the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, man, that's messed up.
Shout out to the kickers, though. It's just not a bad thing, I guess.
Hey, nah. If I
Kickers
could
are
kick
athletes,
for
too.
20 years in the league
Yeah.
and get paid $3-4 million, I'd do it.
100%.
Yep.
Usually pretty good golfers, too, I hear.
They are.
They are.
Kickers and freaking
Same motion,
quarterbacks.
same mechanics. If you really think about it, swing of the leg versus swing of the club. They hit draws, they hit fades. Come on,
Yeah,
Bob.
but you're hitting the ball from up here, though.
What?
When you kick a ball, you're kicking it from like your waist
From the
waist
ground.
level.
What?
If you're a
I'm talking
punter.
about punters.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're talking about place
Yeah,
kickers.
I'm talking about place kickers.
Okay, all right, man. Different page.
You didn't say punters.
Different
You said we were
page.
talking
I'm thinking
kickers.
about punters, man. Maybe because I punted in high school. Maybe
There you
that's
go.
it.
Yeah.
There you go. You didn't punt in high
Punter's
school?
different. No, I didn't punt in high school.
You,
I can't kick.
You're the best athlete on the field, and they didn't make you punt the ball?
No.
Interesting. I take all the good things I said back.
We never punted in high
Thought you
school.
were all, okay.
You guys punted?
All right.
We never punted.
Oh.
Come on.
That's why they pay you the big
That's
bucks.
why they pay me the big bucks,
All right, we'll switch over to the Raiders here. Pass rusher Max Crosby spoke to the Athletics to Sean Reed from the Sack Summit. Last week we had the tight end gathering going on. Now we have the Sack Summit. He talked about the direction the Raiders are heading, and he said, anytime you go out there, you want to be in a position to win. Individual success and things like that are awesome, but it's not why you play the game. You play to win. We just saw it in the NBA. OKC just a couple years ago was one of the worst teams in the league, but they had a lot of young guys. They trusted the process. They developed, and now they're world champions. Do you think you can really compare the NBA and the NFL like that? And do you think the Raiders can make that kind of turn?
Heck no. NBA, you get 3 or 4 guys to hold it down, and you'll be fine. NFL, nah, it's a long process, Max Crosby. But he has to look at it this way. He's a leader on the team. Also, I love Sack Summit. Go ahead and do your thing. That's a great branding right there. But no, man, NBA it's a different game. It is a different game. And when you have 3 different units, you really count special teams, there's 4 units on special teams, right? Offense, defense, and all units on special teams. There's just too many moving parts to kind of look at it that way. It takes a quarterback, and it takes the big boys in the trenches. You got to sprinkle everything else all around. It's a long journey. Raiders, you're not even going to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I think you're dead on. You can't compare the NFL and NBA because you hit a home run on one draft pick in the NBA. He can do it all. He plays defense. He can be your defensive stopper.
Right.
He can be your main scorer. He can do everything. But NFL, it's ultimate team sport. You're relying so much on everyone else. You can have 10 guys have a perfect play, pancakes, whatever it is. Let's say you're on offense, everyone's knocked down, but one guy misses a block.
Yeah.
And that play doesn't work,
a wrap.
even though everyone else did everything perfect. And I feel like the NBA is not that. Like some guys can be off in the corner doing something or whatever, and the guy just shoots from the logo and drains a 3 like Steph Curry. And there you are, great possession.
Yeah.
So it's just different. Yeah.
Different game, man. I think in basketball, one person can take over a game.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, offensively, defensively, they can take that game over. How many times did we grow up watching Jordan and Kobe, LeBron or whatnot, just get in that zone, and it's like they're glowing. In football, one person is not taking over the game. One person can have great performances. How many times have we seen Josh Allen have a great performance and lose a ball game? Can't get over the hump, can't beat Pat Mahomes. How many times did we see Lamar Jackson have a great performance and still lose a ball game? It's different in the NFL, man. It's so much harder to win. So, no, I'm Max Crosby, but whatever you got to do to keep yourself going and motivated, I'm with that. I'm not hating on you, but this is just a dose of reality, honestly.
Yeah, and you know what? It's the Pete Carroll effect, too. He's got the positivity going. He's trying to get Max Crosby talking positive here. He's trying to get him talking winning, and they're turning it that way. I like it. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever you got to do to sell it to your young team.
What do you see for the Raiders this year? They are in a division where the Broncos made the playoffs. Kansas City, we all know. And the Chargers are getting better as well. What do you foresee for these Raiders?
You know what, Bump? I'm going to go out and I'm going to say I think they're going to have a winning record. I do. And it's just because of Pete. I love Pete so much. Like, he's one of my favorite coaches I've ever had. And I think the culture he brings just adds automatically 3 or 4 wins to that team, just out of pure just guys wanting to be there, wanting to play, and what he builds. So it's the Pete Carroll effect. I'm going to say they're going to have a winning record.
All right, so it gives them 3 or 4 wins, right? All right, they had 4 wins last year. So you think they get to 7?
So maybe not a winning record. They're going to be right there at the verge of a winning record.
So close.
So close.
So
A couple games could swing.
What was the Broncos record when they got in last year?
Yeah, right. What was Broncos' record last year?
They were 10-7. I thought they were worse than that.
Yeah, me too.
And they got in. Seahawks are 10-7, didn't get in.
Hey,
That's crazy.
Raiders 4-13 in that division last year in the AFC West. Chiefs were 15-2. Chargers were 11-6, and the Broncos were 10-7. We don't talk about that division enough. I feel like we talk about all these other divisions. Obviously, we talk about the NFC East with the success they had over there, the NFC North, but the AFC West, low-key, one of the better divisions in football. They need some respect.
One of the best as far as coaches right now, right?
Yeah, right. You got Reed, Harbaugh, you got Peyton, you got Pete Carroll.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's the standard when it comes to coaching right there.
You know what? I'm a Raiders fan this year, though. I'm going to be rooting for them.
That's your squad?
No.
No. I mean,
yeah. I know what you mean.
We always pick like our, you know.
I'm going to be rooting for the Raiders just because, again, like I said earlier, Pete Carroll. He's the man. And go Raiders. I'm a Raiders fan. I'm on it. I can't wait. Are they home? The preseason game that they play, is it here?
I believe so.
Pete's coming back here for the first preseason game. Yeah, that'll be fun.
He's coming back. That should be fun. Yeah. Too bad we're not going to see Gino or anybody like that.
No,
yeah, that should be fun. My team that I'm rolling with this year, other than the Hawks, of course, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I want to see a 4,000-yard passer for the first time in team history. They've beefed up that offensive line. They got weapons for Caleb Williams. We'll see what happens there.
You guys are on the same page because last week we asked Brian if Caleb Williams could be a top 10 quarterback this year, and he said yeah.
Yeah, top 10. I mean, he played better than what people thought last year.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He took a lot of sacks. Yeah. I mean, half of those were on him, half were on the offensive line. But he played some good ball last year, man. Took care of the football for the most part. Not too many turnovers. Only, 16 touchdowns, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was his biggest knock. I think he was a little bit too careful. He wasn't taking these risks that I think when Ben Johnson gets a hold of him and get to that offense, it's going to be, they won't be as much risk. It's just going to be a little bit, I don't know, guys will be more open, I should say. Is that a better way to put it?
Guys should be more open, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be more open as, he looks at it and goes, I don't like it, and tucks and runs or something.
Yeah.
So.
Well, B-Wall, this has been real.
It's been fun, Bob.
Quote of the day. Y'all punted? We never punted. Put me in my place. You know damn well y'all punted, B-Wall. Goodness gracious. All right, well, hey, that's it. For myself, Michael Bump is my guy, B-Wall. This is the Brock and Salk Show. Coming up next is the Bump and Stacy Show, but I will not be there. I'm going to go home. I might even take a nap.
This is confusing.
It's 10 o'clock. What am I doing? I have so much time on my hands. Thank you guys for listening. I'll talk to you tomorrow. He will too.
Get to the chopper!
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
What do you like about the young talent on the Seahawks roster?
There are some foundational pieces. And then this year, right, you're expecting Gray's Able to start. You're expecting Emma Ward to start. Elijah Arroyo is a silent sleeper that people are talking about. You got Robbie, the fullback over there. I just looked at the last 3 or 4 drafts, and there are a lot of starters on the football field.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us. In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
If you've ever wondered if there's something after death, Tyler Henry proves the answer is yes. Be part of his live audience readings and his jaw-dropping ability to connect with the departed at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, July 10th and Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Experience this evening of hope and healing, bringing peace and closure to loved ones. Tyler Henry proves our loved ones never leave us. Get tickets at muckleshootcasino.com.
Muckleshoot. Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
You know what's faster than your paycheck? Literally everything. It's time to get your pay up to speed. With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for